primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Folks, and welcome to Cutting Through the Ball in the post-truth apocalypse. I'm Ben, and as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And that's thrown me because you're sat on different sides of me, so you can kind of my way down. Today, we're going to be talking about the lost city of Irem. I'm going to make that mistake all night.
The Atlantis of the Sands.
The Atlantis of the Sands. A bit of Middle Eastern mythology.
Bit racist. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's an interesting one. It's not one I'd ever heard of.
No, I come across it a few weeks ago.
Did you come across it, literally?
Oh, I did.
What?
Well, yes, we'll be getting into that after we've done some weird news.
Yes, that'll take about 20 minutes, half an hour. It's on Facebook Live. So, let's say hello to some new and returning listeners from Corvallis, Oregon, US, Auckland, New Zealand, Auckland, Fort Worth, Texas, Telford making a nice return, our hometown, Tallinn, Estonia, that's a new one. Don't know if I've had Estonia before. Bangalore returning in India, Port Elizabeth, South Africa.
Brighton?
Brighton, it's always in there actually. We've got
Must
a
be-
fan base in Brighton.
Must be Fatboy Slim. He loves a conspiracy.
Oof. Birmingham, Dublin, Istanbul, Columbus, Ohio, Flint, Michigan still top.
No way.
Just proof that if you've got shitty drinking water, you'll listen to anything.
Tangent right at the start, but speaking of Fatboy Slim, I listened to an interview with him on a podcast. Do you remember when he did that massive gig on Brighton Beach, a free gig?
Yeah, he did,
It
yeah.
was supposed to be about 60,000 people, but like 250,000 people turned up. Anyway, he's coked off his eyeballs,
Doesn't surprise me.
about to go and do the show, and like a policeman like sort of says to him backstage, statistically speaking, 2 people out there are going to die tonight, and there's nothing we can do about it. Cheers, mate. I'll go out and spin those discs, shall I? But one person did die.
Well, the police was wrong. So is that, not many people die at music festivals.
I
and
think
go
you'd be
Yeah,
surprised
Pearl Jam was a
actually.
few.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, Download, no one's died.
I bet you if you have a look, somebody has
Maybe,
died.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure most festivals people die of nothing dodgy, just natural things or misadventure sometimes.
I mean, like trying to wank themselves off or choking themselves in a tent.
Yeah, that kind of misadventure.
Well, we've all been there.
Or you buy some what looks like cocaine off some guy who may or may not have a Scouse accent.
It's poison.
You know, you drink 18 pints, you don't wake up again. But yeah, people die at festivals. But people also have fun too, so don't let that put you
No,
off,
go to
guys.
festivals, have fun, enjoy live music.
But always come home. Right then.
Yeah. This one, Mike, the first bit of weird news is especially for you because I know you're a big fan of a reptilian
Yeah.
rim-based theory.
Aren't we all?
No, I'm not.
I'm a fan of the reptilian theory, but not necessarily the moon being a base theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the moon is shrinking and it's shaking as it does according to new NASA data. Over the last decade, scientists have established that as the inside of the moon cooled, it shriveled up like a raisin. That left it riven with cliffs called thrust faults, marked all over its surface. Now a new analysis using data from NASA missions suggests the moon could still be shrinking today because it's being hollowed out by reptilians.
I'm telling you. Evidence.
How would hollowing it make it shrink? Wouldn't the outside still... I'm not a scientist.
I don't know.
I will
Moon-
prefix that.
All I know is that on a Rick and Morty episode,
Right,
Pluto wasn't a planet anymore. The Plutonians were quite annoyed at that.
they were.
And it was because they were harvesting all the minerals inside, causing Pluto quakes, and the planet was shrinking, and that's why they weren't a planet anymore.
Right.
They'd lost
Yeah.
their planetary status due to their own capitalist greed.
But the moon isn't real, is it?
Well, what is it then?
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of flat earthers out there. What do they think? They don't think it's real, do they?
I think they're okay. Are they okay with the moon? Or these, no, oh man.
It's
hard to know what to believe. There was probably a hologram
I
in
don't-
there.
Ah, yeah,
But
possibly.
they can also see the stars. They don't think they're real either. Oh, bless them. Fish Islands! Fuck!
I think the greatest thing you can take away from the flat Earth conspiracy is there's a lot of mentally challenged people in society nowadays.
And a lot of trolls. Half of them definitely don't believe it.
Yeah.
It was started on 4chan. It's a fucking troll. Like, something else came from 4chan that's turned to reality and people don't. Oh, have you seen this thing that some people claim? Now, don't screenshot this, but apparently the OK sign
Oh right.
Yeah.
is now a white power symbol.
Wasn't that just that harmless little game where you got people to look at it?
There
though?
is that, but
I thought it was a Satanist symbol.
no, listen.
666. It looks like
Even-
a 6.
Stephen Fry posted something on Mental Health Awareness Week. This is how it came on my radar, and he just did a post on Twitter. Are you okay? You know, do you need to talk to somebody? Reach out, and it's him doing the okay, which we all internationally recognise as okay.
Isn't that a diving symbol as well?
That's
when,
where it
when
comes
you're
from.
scuba diving,
Underwater.
Ah.
you have a sign language, don't you?
Yeah.
And that is, I'm not,
Oh,
don't
okay.
screenshot it. That is okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Well, he obviously people then informed him, and he tweeted again. I fucking refuse to have the meaning of that change. Well, fuck that. It means okay. But basically, I started reading into it, and it comes from 4chan. It was a piss take. Like, what's the one gesture that could be like completely innocuous? Okay. Oh, that's white power now. But because some white supremacists have started using it,
So they started
the
being-
joke has become real, and satire's dead. Nobody knows the fucking lines between realities are blurred, and nothing's real anymore. Nothing's safe.
Yeah.
Nothing's sacred.
Welcome to the post-truth apocalypse.
Yay!
My personal favourite's always the two fingers, and I'm not sure if it's entirely accurate. And Mike, you're probably going to say it's not. Isn't it something to do with the English bowman at Agincourt?
I don't know. Actually, I've heard that theory myself. So it's
The French knights would drive past, and we sort of flick them the
Yeah.
V
I've
and
still
say,
got
"Don't
me-
come too close, matey."
could be.
Still got me shooting fingers.
Because they would cut them fingers off if they caught them, so they couldn't draw a bow again.
I'm going to try and bring back.
Oh, you're biting the thumb.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
what-
bite your thumb at me, sir? I do bite my thumb, but not at you, sir.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And that's an insult somewhere, isn't it?
Sicily.
Italy, innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sicily. There's a lot in the biting the thumb Italian as well.
Might be. I love how physical gestures change from country to country as well. Like, I could always see my best mate's Indian, and his dad would always be doing this with his hand, like when you ask him a question. Like, that is the equivalent of shrugging your shoulders in Indian. I don't know. I don't know. And if you really don't know,
Just don't eat with your left hand.
yes. But do you know that, curiously, they all think we're disgusting because
Yeah.
we do use paper. They use
We've had
water.
this discussion.
Oh, have we?
It's filthy, isn't it? There's
You do.
millions of people walking around with dirty arses.
Don't the Arabs use sand or gravel as well if they're out in the desert? The Bedouin probably use sand.
Possibly.
I just walk around with a fucking shitty arse rather than grab a handful of sand. Ah! Oh, well, it's clean.
No, but it's very smooth sand. They have to import the coarser sand from Australia for building.
They do.
Well, you learn something new every week, don't
Yeah,
you?
you see. You should never wave with your left hand apparently either. That's not good.
Is that offensive?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and I learnt in Poland, that means, come on, let's go for a drink.
Alright. I didn't know that.
You'd be able to impress somebody with that next time.
Yeah.
Go, huh?
I certainly will. Speaking of which, she was my research assistant today and she fell asleep.
Well,
So, don't judge that as a topic.
Listener, that is not a reflection of the topic at hand. Please stay tuned.
She was
Sure to
tired,
be
bless her.
fine.
She was tired.
We'll keep it interesting.
I was watching some bit of Necronomicon, an ancient city hidden under the sands. I was like, alright. So yeah, the moon's shrinking, probably because of reptilians, maybe just because the moon's
Hang
cooling
on.
down.
Can I just clarify before we move on? Is that part of the story actually true? Have scientists said it's shrinking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. But then the conspiracy people have added on to that. It's because it's been hollowed out.
Probably. Thing
Fair
is,
play.
sort of proof we did go to the moon is that because all the NASA missions left instruments on the moon, so
Ooh.
they're able to tell these things.
I didn't know. I learnt on that show we listened to the other day. They went up there with like paper maps in their pockets just in case.
yeah. Yeah, they got lost. I mean, you got no GPS, have you? So they were looking for a particular crater, weren't
Yeah,
they?
and they never made
You
it.
get lost on the moon, you're fucked, didn't
Well,
you?
they were looking
That's
for it, and apparently, like, mission control was like, boys, your heart rates are going up through the roof and stuff, like, leave it. And they never found the crater they were looking for.
I mean, it'd be easy enough to find your way back because you just retrace your footsteps.
I guess, but what if it's dark? Oh, I don't know. It was all in a fucking soundstage anyway. So
It was, and we'll get on to that because it's coming up to the anniversary. So the moon landing is going to be an episode very soon.
Isn't the light side of the moon constantly light and the dark side dark?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it'd never go dark, Gaz.
Is that why the album's called Dark Side of the Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the film.
Fantastic.
And that's where the Nazis live.
I
On the dark
suppose so.
side.
And the reptiles.
And the
cities.
reptiles, yeah.
I suppose you
The
could.
greys.
If you look at the photographs, you can see the outline of the cities.
Of course
on
you
the
can.
edge.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
I guess the worry. I guess the worry's not being able, because of course you could turn around and follow your footsteps back, but I suppose the worry is more like trying to find this crater, getting lost in the sense of like you're too far away from the module.
Oh,
do you
yeah,
know what I mean?
oxygen's
Like,
running out.
come on, if you couldn't get straight there and straight back, you've maybe fucked your chance. But anyway, yeah.
If there was a
Moonquakes.
moonquake.
Moonquakes, are they real?
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Moonquakes.
Yeah.
Ah, there's a name for a movie. James Bond. Moonquake.
Moonquaker.
What? Moonquaker! Isn't that about some quakers who live on the
Well, yeah.
moon?
It's that bloke on the Oats box. He's an evil genius.
That's where oats
He's
come
got a
from.
moon base.
It's not made of cheese, it's made of oats.
It is.
Fuck it up. Solved it.
There you go. What's the next one then? Who wants the next one?
Go on then. Restaurant under fire for adding Aardvark pizza to its menu.
I don't really see a problem. Are the Aardvarks endangered?
I don't think so.
What's the problem?
Well, it's bushmeat.
Oh, right. Is that not good?
Well,
Is it?
Is it just, are they
No,
like...
People eat bushmeat all the time.
yeah,
Aborigines eat it.
in the bush.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the most confusing thing. If you read the
Well, we've got
story...
standards, we know where the food's coming, we can trace it back to the farmer, bushmeat.
Yeah. Would you eat a badger?
If I was not starving,
If
yeah.
someone tried to sell you a monkey on the street to eat, would you eat it?
Am I starving at this point? Is this
Well,
post-Brexit
well,
Britain?
post-Brexit,
I'll probably take the monkey.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I see a lot of dead badgers in my job.
You'll be a fucking
Should I
barter
start saving
king.
them? Should I
collect them.
start collecting the smashed badger corpses?
Yeah. Get yourself a chest freezer in the back of the van.
Yeah.
Throw them in the boot.
There you go.
Throw them in there. When you
Badger
get home,
meat.
throw them in the back.
Badger
throw 'em in the-
pie?
Badger pie. Badger stew. Badger
Get a fur coat
steaks.
at the end of it.
Wouldn't it
You
be
could be like
ironic?
the Cruella de Vil of the badger world.
Wouldn't it be ironic to serve it with mashed potato?
Yes, it would. But the irony is delicious and nutritious.
Everybody knows
Badger.
badger goes well with mashed potatoes.
Badger and badger.
No, mate, badger goes on a mashed potato, not bodger. Otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
that's cannibalism, mate. That's
Oh yeah,
different.
badger was the human, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, that's cannibalism.
Yeah. Like Crichton says,
Seems a
otherwise
waste.
you're just picking on the chickens.
It seems a waste to leave him lying there.
Ah, classic. Right, what's
So,
going on then,
Aardvark.
Mike?
On Wednesday, May the 8th, a Kilmarnock restaurant claimed to have made history by becoming the first eatery in Scotland to serve up Aardvark.
There's no fucking surprise it's in Scotland.
Do
I
we
mean,
get
anything-
aardvarks in this country?
No.
I mean, fried
Africa.
pizzas, fried Mars bars, haggis. It's no surprise they're having aardvark.
He revealed to the Daily Record that the dish was made with green chilli, spicy chicken, lamb mince, and of course Aardvark. He said he wanted to offer something different and unique.
Do they eat it in other countries, I wonder? Is it,
Possibly.
He must have got the idea from somewhere.
Wanted something different.
Oh, the health people got him straight
They
away.
did, yeah.
Oh, it says there, aardvarks are native to Africa and come under UK bushmeat import legislations. So I guess we're not allowed to import bushmeat and...
Oh, bloody red tape.
Oh,
Always fancied eating a honey badger.
it's
Catch
political,
one first.
Well, I'm not one catching, that's right.
political correctness gone mad.
Bloody hell.
Do you remember when that was something that you used to say sarcastically to take the piss out of gammons type of thing, because they're always moaning about PC culture, but now it has gone mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like you can't even say it's PC gone mad. Well, yeah, it has gone mad.
Yeah,
There are men breaking women's weightlifting records, and everyone's too polite to tell him that he hasn't.
Wasn't it that sprinter who, like, she was biologically female, but, like had gonads like but tucked up inside, and she was technically a man in a way. Although
There's been a few.
she's been stopped from running now, I think.
Yeah, there was a dude.
She had like massive levels of testosterone.
You got to be careful here. There was a woman, a trans woman, who used to be a man, now a woman, competing in cage fighting, and just beating the living fuck out of girl after girl.
I have to wonder in that scenario whether there's a bit of a psychological issue going on there.
Also, like, it just shouldn't be allowed. I'm sorry. Put me in PC jail. But I don't want. If my daughter gets into, well, they do martial arts. Leona's girls do martial arts, right? And then what if one day they're in a competition? There's like, you know, some 13-year-old with stubble and pigtails. I identify.
You're like,
I'm a woman, and he kicks a little girl right in her face. I'm not going to be happy, am I?
no.
You know? Oh well.
Well, you just get in the ring and show him how it's done. He's only 13, you can take him.
So I can go up to his dad and say, do you think it's alright for him to fight my daughter? Yes. Is that your wife? Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Is that fair?
It's
No.
the same thing.
We're joking. It's a very thorny issue. Don't cancel us. Don't report us to the Facebook police.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
a woman in a white coat, a hairnet, said she was an inspector and wanted more information on the Aardvark pizza. She said she needed to know where it was from and if they had documentation. Native to Africa, Aardvarks come under UK bushmeat import legislation, meaning those selling it require a specific licence to do so. As such, East Ayrshire Council have launched an investigation into the business to discover whether it is operating within the law. A spokesperson for the council said officers will be fully investigating this matter to ensure that the restaurant owner is complying with all relevant legislation.
Wow.
Indian Accent is an amazing name for an Indian restaurant.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't believe it was Aardvark.
Mm.
Nah.
He just said it was Aardvark
Yeah.
to make it sound. Could you have a fox pizza?
I don't know.
Brexit.
Yeah.
A bowl pizza?
Oh, we'll be eating all kinds of
Yeah.
farmyard vermin at some point. It's just going to happen.
Ratatouille with rat.
Was it rat au van? So
Yeah.
a rat that's been run over by a van.
Well, in Demolition Man, they eat rat burgers, don't they?
Yeah. He really enjoys that burger as well, doesn't he? He's like, oh man, that's great. Do you see any cows around here? Still good.
3 seashells.
Yeah. I hope they don't come into that. That's going to be a thing in the future.
Well, you just go up to the little machine and swear loads,
I
don't
wouldn't do
you?
anyway. I'd have no money left.
Right.
Especially at work.
What's next in the news? Okay. Meet the Spaniard making morcilla with his very own blood.
I don't even know what morcilla is.
Morcilla
A
or
blood sausage.
mochilla. Oh. So he's making sausages with his very own blood. You've heard the arguments over which of Spain's blood sausage variety is the best.
No, I haven't.
Me either. Some think it hails from Burgos. Others believe the blend of pig's blood, rice, onion and spices is better in Leon. But what on earth would these traditionalists think about the concoction currently being made in Aloza? Sorry guys. A remote village in Spain. A sausage that is a sausage that its creator claims would be suitable for vegans because it's made using one's own blood. Yes, you read that right. The first step of the recipe involves extracting 40 milliliter of one's own blood fresh from the vein. Oh God.
40 millilitres? I
Um,
don't know if I want to lose that much blood in one, just for a sausage.
So this guy's he's a woodcutter. That explains why he's got so much blood of his own blood around, doesn't it? I'm always cutting my fingers, I might as well save it up. Make some blood
I'm about
sausage.
6 sausages at a time. I'll be woozy.
He's really pale.
Oh man.
You're right there, Michael. I had just 3 pints of blood to make me breakfast.
That's ridiculous. So he's claiming it's a vegan blood sausage, but it's only vegan blood sausage if you eat your own, isn't it?
Can vegans
Yeah,
eat people?
cannibal if
Yeah.
you eat someone else.
Can I what now?
Can vegans eat people?
Well, no.
No, it's cannibalism. It's meat.
Yeah, but it's all about the animal cruelty, isn't it, for them as well?
Well, it's cruel to a human, surely.
Well, they're dead.
But it's not just a plant-based diet has its own like rewards and things like. Some do it for ethical reasons, obviously, but I'm sure if they ethically object to the killing of animals for meat, I'm sure they would possibly, maybe morally have some sort of problem with you killing people.
That's what I was
For
thinking.
me.
Yeah.
So why does he think that making that of human blood is any better?
Well, you've got to make it. So he's
No.
saying, look, if you're a vegan, you can still have our traditional blood sausage. You've just got to extract some of your own blood and eat that. So you're cannibalising yourself, but you're not eating no
This
animals.
man's just clearly a fucking lunatic then, isn't he?
Well, this is the lengths that vegans have to go to.
I mean, I'm
I don't
a
see the problem, to be
vegan,
honest.
but I really fancy a sausage. So what I'll do is I'll cut myself and make it out of my own blood.
Well, who sucked the blood from their finger when they've had a cut?
oh yeah.
Yeah. The thing
It's your
is,
blood.
I
Because
suppose
I like the taste of my
It's
own
going
blood.
back. It's going back in your body.
I don't think it quite works like that.
Well, the nutrients would.
but it is weird our
The iron,
standards,
there's
isn't
a lot
it?
of iron in blood.
Yeah.
How we think, oh yeah, stick some pig's blood in there. Yeah, that's fine. Love a blood sausage. Oh, it's got human blood in it. No!
I don't really like blood
If it's
sausage
someone
at all,
else's
to be
blood,
honest.
that's different. I mean, I don't want to eat sausages.
That's yeah. You don't. You got to use your own blood on this one, haven't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely.
AIDS sausages. The Barrymore story.
Do you remember when he was actually a massive primetime
Yeah, I
TV
used to
star?
love him when I was little. We'd all sit round as a family and watch
Strike it lucky.
top, middle, or bottom. Strike it lucky. All right.
Yeah.
He was fucking
Yeah.
ace, old bazzer. Bloody hell.
I had a huge cardboard cut of his face.
I didn't go that far. Where did you get that?
I went to Quicksave and he was a promotion thing at
He
the
was the
time.
face of Quicksave.
Yeah.
Ah.
He's in your garage ring.
When they
isn't he?
closed down, I stole one. I had it in my bedroom for months.
Yeah, that explains why you never had a girlfriend as well.
I don't mind him. I just really like. I just really like Barrymore. I haven't got a swimming pool. Don't worry. Bless.
I was going he was going to remake Only Fools and Horses, what they call it, Only Pools and Corpses.
He was acquitted of all wrongdoing.
He was,
I think.
probably. I have no idea.
Oh, fucking Google it. You're the fact checker, not us.
I'm not down with his blood sausage anyway. I don't want to
Well,
have to cut myself.
I'm not
to
going to
get my
lie.
Sausages.
I wouldn't eat the animal blood sausage. I don't eat
I
black
don't think that
pudding.
either.
I'll eat a sausage without the blood in it because I'm weird. Yes, I'm a hypocrite. I'll eat the flesh. I'll eat the skin. The blood turns me off.
The arseholes and the
Hey!
eyelids.
Hey, all tastes good to me.
Oh, Ricky Gervais, man, that made me laugh. Did you see that clip of him? He was taking a piss out of all the people that complained about the vegan Greg sausage roll, like, and he was saying like, like, what's your problem? He's like, oh, there's not enough arseholes in it. He's like, the fuck do you think's in the meat one? But I will hear nothing bad said about a Greg sausage roll.
No, me.
They're the backbone of this country. Greg sausage rolls. Anyway, I think that concludes the news.
Yeah. So let's talk about the lost city of Irem.
Oh, can I, sorry to interrupt you straight away, might want to explain on my behalf that the previous half an hour you've just listened to was recorded on the backup mic.
Yes, I was going to gloss over that, Gaz, and save you some face, but no, go
I
on.
just want to apologise as the sound man for fucking things up, and the rest of the show will be the usual gold standard audio quality that you've come to know and expect from us. Sorry, please continue.
So, somewhere in the desert sands between the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, there existed a city that mysteriously disappeared along with all of its inhabitants. Now, some legends say the inhabitants of this city communed with jinn. Not jinn and the spirit.
Well,
Spirits to a kind.
Yeah, I'm going to say it is a spirit.
It is a spirit.
I've communed
But
with
it's
But not a
jinn
spirit. It's a
before.
spirit, but not a spirit.
Right, not
it's-
the good kind
well,
of spirit.
No, well,
The
maybe.
ghostly kind.
The ghostly kind. It's actually spelled D-J-I-N-N-S.
Brilliant score in Scrabble. I'm going to say gin.
All right.
Fair enough.
Not bad.
Now,
Good to know,
It is, yeah.
because there's a word called gin as well with J-I-N. You know, just put that D on that for that J.
And everyone would go, that's not a word, and you can get your
Yeah.
oh my
Google
God,
out.
we're talking about fucking Scrabble.
Don't mind a game of Scrabble.
me.
Oh God, when did
I
you
love
two
it.
hit middle age?
Fuck off with your meditation app.
It's not Scrabble. That's helping me sleep.
So does Scrabble.
Yeah.
Now, jinns are an intelligent spirit of lower rank than angels, able to appear in human and animal form and possess humans.
Okay.
So, but Islam says the giants called this city home.
Oh.
Right.
So the lost
So
city
I
of Irem.
assume it was built. It was like giant sized.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that. The lost city of Irem has been known as the Atlantis of the Sands, mentioned in the Quran due to its practice of idolatry. So they're bowing down to idols in Irem. I'm going to stop saying Irem. It's Irem, sorry.
Irem.
Irem. You say Irem, I say Irem.
It is Irem.
Yeah, I'll get round to it.
So it is mentioned in the Quran,
Mentioned in the Quran, yeah, because they were bowing down to idols.
and that's not cool.
Not
cool.
Billy Idol, though.
No.
He wasn't there. He's old, but he's not that old.
No. Oh, nice
Apparently
day.
it was built before the time of Adam, thus making it the oldest city on Earth.
Yes.
Are there any? I suppose we'll get to that, but are there any geographical,
Yes.
physical evidence?
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Excellent.
We will
Awesome.
get to that. So, let's just scroll back up to that, Mike. On the HP Love. Give me H.P. Lovecraft, please.
Mr. Lovecraft.
The great H.P. Lovecraft.
Lovecraft is a little old writer who wrote some books, yeah.
Well done.
Wrote some books, yeah. He wrote some books.
Whatever happened to the B-52s?
That song.
I like that song.
Rock Lobster.
And
Hey.
Rock Lobster.
Remember they did the theme tune to the Flintstones as well?
They
when
did,
the movie
yeah,
came out, and
yeah.
they called themselves the BC-52s.
Yeah, they did,
so, yeah.
Oh dear.
I had that on cassette single.
I had a CD
Doesn't
with
even
that
make
on.
sense because BC-52 wasn't even the Stone Age.
Well, yeah, but it's just a joke, isn't it?
I know. It's shit joke.
Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones.
He had a really distinctive voice, that guy.
He did, didn't he?
Shouldn't have been a singer.
Anyway.
Yeah. The great H.P. Lovecraft achieved early fame with his 1921 story, The Nameless City. It tells a story of Abdul al-Hazarad, an Arab scholar whose quest for the secrets of black magic led him to a remote, forbidding area of the Sahara Desert. There he stumbled on an ancient city, unknown to the outside world, a centre for sorcery and witchcraft, inhabited by jinn and afrits, the ghouls and demons of Semitic folklore. Passing through the dark streets and amongst the lofty columns of Iraq. See, he's got a ram.
Okay, yeah. It's both then.
As the gloomy city was known to his residents, he entered the temple of their patron deity, Cthulhu, a satanic figure, or a demonic deity from deep space.
Ooh.
The high priest in attendance entrusted him with a
Thaumaturguric?
yeah, thaumaturgic tome. I don't know.
Turgic. It's turgid.
There we go. The Al-Azif, but translating its horrific text into Latin as the Necronomicon proved too much for Abdul, and he went raving mad before completing his task. Whilst most readers assume the Nameless City was an entirely original creation of Lovecraft's fertile imagination, he actually based it on ancient Arab oral accounts. And I've got some stuff about that guy who says he didn't go nuts, he actually did translate it.
How did Mr. Lovecraft have access to
Knowledge.
ancient oral Arab accounts? Was he over
I guess
there?
he went there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
he did. Yeah, he was a big fan of Arabic culture. He did go there. Same as people like Lawrence of Arabia. Even Aleister Crowley was obsessed with this sort of thing as well. You know, it's,
Because I suppose people take Bible stories and turn them into cool sci-fi things all the time, don't they? RoboCop.
yeah.
I guess he was just doing it for the Arab world, taking their
Well, it's original, isn't it?
traditional.
I mean, you think of Western myths. By 1921, Western
Sorry about the helicopter. Guy.
it's part
picking
of part of Telford's probably on fire. That's a police helicopter.
Yeah,
probably.
Sorry about that. Do you know what they call them in Los Angeles? Ghetto birds.
Of course.
Wow, that is loud.
Do you know in LA they have to have steel reinforced plates?
Oh
on
yeah, I know. 'Cause
Yeah.
people take pot shots.
What a shit job being a policeman in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest. If we all had guns and one day you were drunk in the back garden having a fag, fucking copping bastard, fucking.
I'd definitely have some cans, empty cans set up down the bottom of the garden, you know, and as you sort of, that's how you keep count of how many you've had, and when you can't hit it anymore, you know you've had too many.
The problem is they go through the cans and the fence and into a child.
That's just a chance they take.
Them's the rules. They're not the rules. What? Sorry, I'm all over the fucking place today.
The Bedouin.
The Bedouin myth described Irem of the Pillars as a large, deeply prehistoric metropolis built after the Great Flood by a race of giants, the Ad-Haljan, in an uninhabitable area of the Arabian Peninsula known as the Rub el-Khali or Empty Quarter. The city was said to have been headquarters for the Mukurabun or ghost priests of a profane pre-Islamic cult. They
Profane?
worshipped...
Does profane mean rude?
I think so.
Doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. Profanity, isn't
Yeah,
it?
profane. Oh well, they sound
Cool,
cool.
maybe blasphemous.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean,
okay.
blasphemous in this
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
They worshipped Cthulhu, Lovecraft's Cthulhu, mentioned as a devilish conception in the fragmentary Al-Kadif manuscript, which became the short story author's Al-Azif. Iran was uncommonly rich, thanks in large measure to its trade in al-luban, the milk, an aromatic resin taken from the bark of basella trees for the production of costly perfumes sought after by wealthy clients and used in sacred rituals.
Now we know about this because there's a city of Elba that they uncovered, and it had trading manuscripts.
Okay.
Cruciform tablets.
Yeah.
Like tax.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah, this is all
they,
this.
they traded with the
Yeah,
red.
this is the sort of this is what we trade with. This is who we trade with. This is how much we get from them. This is what we send them. That's what they
It's
send us.
weird thinking of ancient peoples like bothered about BO in it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't imagine them being concerned with like, the latest Calvin Klein.
The wealthy would. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
suppose
wealthy
they would. They were
remember,
people.
But remember that Arab culture, for a long time, was far
Way
ahead
more
of the
advanced,
West.
yeah.
Far ahead
Yeah.
of the West.
Isn't that where
It
like
wasn't-
mathematics and
Yeah.
language and everything
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
from?
Actually, I read an interesting.
We use the Arabic language,
Yeah.
don't we?
Actually, I read an interesting article on that this week. You know, our numbers are Arabic.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. They're all Arabic. And they asked Americans in a poll, "Do you think we should teach Arabic numerals?"
I saw that.
And they were like, no, of course not. It's like, they're the numbers we use. But so, in all fairness, you know, not everybody knows that, but
Yeah.
it was still
It's
quite
funny.
fun.
Yeah, it's funny.
So within the Islamic faith, the kingdom is best known for being an ancient metropolis of towering pillars inhabited by a race of giants who are both physically and intellectually superior to humans in every way. Makes sense?
Wow.
But with their power came not great responsibility, but great arrogance. And with that, the wrath of God and their eventual destruction.
Now, when we say giants, are we talking sort of like
Goliath.
the Great Kali, Andre the Giant, just bigger than your average,
Yeah.
or are we talking? Because if everyone was the size of the Great Kali, you would say they're giant people.
Yeah.
But were they even more giant?
I think we're talking sort of...
40 feet.
What?
Is that what you got?
No, I think that in the Bible, I think that's what they're described as. That's what I'm going on.
I
The
don't
Nephilim.
think I'm not a biologist, but I don't think your fucking bone structure could handle the weight and
They'd have thicker bones, guys.
a 40.
Gaz, we had brachiosauruses on this planet, which were humongous.
Or did we?
What did we?
Yes.
Did we? Or did we?
Yes.
Or did we have 3 or 4 other dinosaurs that they
Admittedly-
mashed together and went Bronchio? Taurus.
Admittedly, there were higher oxygen levels, and that's why we could have bigger
Now,
creatures.
without sounding as thick as I did just then, I am aware that and also they were
What
just
was that
built-
giant ape? The
the
Gigantopithecus?
That's
Gigantopithecus.
it.
But how tall was it? It wasn't 40 foot tall.
I think it was near that, wasn't it?
No, if you right,
Was it King Kong sort of scale?
Yeah.
right, hang on a second.
Google it.
I'm gonna guess the roof is less than 10 feet.
Yeah.
The roof is about
8.5.
8 or 9. So think 4 stories. I'm
I
out
was
already.
thinking-
If they were 10 foot
I don't
tall,
know.
I was thinking 10 feet, 15
I don't know
tops.
for certain. I don't know for certain.
10 foot tall. But somebody was 7 foot tall. People were smaller back then anyway, weren't they? So someone who was 7 foot would have been gigantic,
Yeah.
wouldn't they? But I suppose, yeah, my point is, I just don't think, sorry
Some live research going on, that's why you can hear keys clicking.
to be thick, but I just think a 40 foot giant, I mean, he'd have to have ankles as thick as a fucking.
Well, they'd all be proportion. Their bones would be thicker, wouldn't they? You wouldn't
Don't
evolve
know
if your bones couldn't
but their
support the weight of your body.
Their bones must be made of different fucking stuff.
10
right?
to 15 feet, I was way off.
Okay, 10 to 15. See, I can handle that.
Although some say that it was up to 450 feet.
Fuck off! That's like a fucking skyscraper walking round.
Hello. Thing is, he'd say hello, and you'd literally be thrown from your feet with the passage of his breath. Be like a fucking hurricane going. He'd blow you back and destroy your house.
It would probably take that
I
much.
fucking hate moving into giant now. You'd like he'd rebuild my fucking house every day.
Plus, don't look. I'm showing how.
630 feet, I'm
Oh.
getting.
Come on.
Let's just take the first answer, eh? One from the.
I'm showing how thick I am now, but like giant animals don't move much, do they? Because they got to
No.
conserve energy. Like, so I was about to say a 450-foot giant. Just saying hello would probably take up too much fucking energy.
Up to some of the ones says up to 30 feet, so anything from between 10 feet and 450 feet.
Fuck.
I think we can probably discount 450 feet.
Because I think an 8-foot person or a 7-foot person would be considered giant, and if they were all 7 feet, like a giant race, maybe. I don't know.
We had this dude at work recently, he was a temp, and he was 7 foot 7 or 8. The tallest person I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He literally had to duck to get through the door.
Amazing, isn't it?
And I was like, fuck.
I used to know a market trader called Des who was 6'10". His heritage is from somewhere in the Caribbean, and the guy who I worked for at the market said Des's mum, Des's dad, Des's siblings are all that similar height, and I was like,
Wow.
what the fuck? And he's like, basically because of the slave trade, there were islands and places where they literally bred
Of course,
the tallest and strongest slaves together for a couple of generations.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his family is still feeling that genetically, like, basically. So yeah, and not skinny, not 6'10" and like
Built like a brick shit.
yeah, a very imposing figure.
As harsh as it is to say, slaves were bred like a pedigree dog.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's why the fastest runners are mostly come from Jamaica.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you know,
also explains why. Oh, this is dodgy ground, but I do think there's definitely truth to it of why black African Americans tend to dominate American sports. Is this same thing of
yes, it's dodgy. You're right. It's dodgy ground to stand
Yeah.
on and say that, but you've got to wonder. Well, all that selective breeding.
Yeah. I was also told by somebody or read somewhere that there was, because I used to play basketball, didn't I? So I was a little bit obsessed with this of like, is it just a myth or no, all the black guys do genuinely seem to be able to jump higher than us. There is something genetically to do with the tendon, your hamstring tendon. How flexible that tendon is in the back is directly related to how much spring you've got. And that there is something genetic going on. But probably because of 100 years ago, some selective eugenics type fucking
Because it's
stuff
naturally as
going
well,
on.
the Sherpas, you know, the ones that got the Everest.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like wider blood vessels in the lungs and that,
Oh, awesome.
so they can
Breathe a thinner air at higher altitude.
basically.
And there is, somebody wrote a book about it, look it up listeners, sorry I can't tell you what it was called, but there is an area of Africa where the greatest distance runners in the world, there's a tribe of guys who consistently are the absolutely shit on the rest of the world.
And
for
the fastest
distance runners.
person ever alive was an Aborigine.
Oh, did they measure his footprints?
They measured the footprints and they came to the conclusion that he was faster than Usain Bolt.
Fucking hell.
And he was running in mud.
Oh, Jesus.
It wasn't like, wasn't it sand or something?
Something like that. It was like prehistoric kind of level sort of history, and they found these footprints and on this stretch of mud, like sort of preserved.
Yeah.
And they measured the stride and all this, and realised that he was running a lot faster than Usain Bolt could run.
Fuck it up. So I wonder if there are any exceptionally tall people in the Arabic world, if they could, in theory, trace back a few thousand years, and basically one of these giants came down and buffed
Well, it's interesting you mention that.
a normal-sized woman.
Well, can I just say the Gigantopithecus
Yeah.
was 10 feet.
Okay.
So we'll go
That's
with the 10
big.
feet giants then. Because
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. I go with
Not
that.
the 450 feet.
But let's
That's
face
a
it.
bit, because the 450, to me, that's getting into the mystical and the science fiction.
Yeah.
I can a 10-foot creature. I can cope with that in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty imposing.
Yes. Oh fuck yeah! I wouldn't like to run into a gigantic. And the other thing is, we are extrapolating. We do a lot of. They basically found a tooth, didn't they, and decided from that tooth, or was it a piece of jawbone or something? If this is that big, then the rest of the animal, the Gigantopithecus, would have been.
Oh yeah.
That was my little rubbish dinosaur joke that I made earlier as well. That like, it's rare that they find a fucking complete. You know, they find two halves of bits and they budge it, and they probably had feathers too. That's the
consensus nowadays is they had feathers. Yeah, never used to be.
No, it didn't. Did it? Fuck, we'll have to do a dinosaurs episode. I was obsessed with them as a youth.
I think
I've still
got some plastic dinosaur figures somewhere stashed away in the attic.
I still play with mine.
Well, fair enough.
Good on you, mate.
I always remember watching as a kid the is it 10,000 BC, not the shitty remake, the original with Raquel Weisz in it. And the full fur bikinis and fur loincloths.
Raquel Welch.
That's it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and it's just like that kind of left a massive impression on me when it came to dinosaurs.
It's the poster of her that they in the prison movie with is it Clint Eastwood, where he's been digging the hole with a spoon in his wool. Alcatraz maybe, and it's hidden behind a Raquel, the famous Raquel Welch, you know, in the loincloth. Yeah, she was lovely. Is she still alive? If she's alive, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'd still fuck her. All 99 years of her. Her clit's probably as long as my fucking leg.
Oh.
Sorry.
You fucking will probably kill her.
I'd be gentle.
It doesn't matter, she's 99.
Be extra gentle.
think a hip will go. The very least, you got to pop her hips out.
Split her in two.
He's not that big.
I'm just saying how
More ferocious.
fragile she is.
Speaking of people dying, actually.
Wow. Yeah, let's get back to the subject.
We need to do a slight tangent that we should have done earlier, actually.
Okay.
We need to say R.I.P.D. to Stanton Friedman, famous UFOologist, who brought the Roswell case back into the limelight in the 80s.
Okay.
Big voice in the UFO community. R.I.P.D. to you, sir.
Why'd you have the D?
Because it's the Rest in Peace department.
I thought it was, yeah.
And a comic. I used to like saying R.I.P.D.
I thought it was that, I was just checking.
Yeah.
I've got issue 1 of that, R.I.P.D. When the movie came out, I was like, whoa, I want to make some money. It's worth fuck all.
Really?
Absolutely fuck all. Because A, it's a not a sought after comic, and B, the film was shit. So.
The film was terrible. And I've read a few, I haven't read the comics religiously, but I enjoyed them. I enjoy the concept of it. I like the idea of it.
The idea.
Yeah.
Basically,
I did see the film.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I think I made it halfway through the film. I never watched it all.
I like the concept of, I'm getting confused now, but he looks like a woman to everybody else, doesn't he?
That's right. He's a hot woman, but he's actually just.
But it's Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the little Chinese dude.
Yeah.
But they see each other as they are, but everyone else sees them as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like the concept of there's an afterlife law enforcement kind of thing.
Me too.
I was disappointed with the film, but I honour it by saying R.I.P.D. when someone dies.
Well, this geezer, if he's quite important, maybe we should do an episode on him.
I think so. He's worth an episode.
Yeah, alright.
We'll do an in memoriam episode. We'll all wear black.
We used to do anyway.
Yeah, alright.
We're not goths.
Just edgy.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So, is there something more alien hidden there?
Well, this is where it coincides or sort of meshes over with the Planet X Nibiru type.
Ancient aliens. Nephilim, which is, well, they could be aliens as well.
So are these giants, are they the aliens or are they just a different species on Earth?
Well, they could be giants, they could be Nephilim, they could be aliens.
That's the name of a band, isn't it?
Nephilim.
They could be giants.
Yeah, they're
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
They might be giants.
They might be giants.
There you go.
They never were though, were they?
Didn't they do the theme tune for Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes,
Yes,
they did,
they did.
yeah. Yeah, we've got to catch your chorus. Yeah. Lovecraft also connects the city to a race of lizard people.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Now you're talking.
But that's just fiction.
But that's just fiction. Or was it?
Or was it?
Because some people say that Lovecraft knew all this was real and tried to tell people by putting it out there as works of fiction.
Like Hollywood does today.
Yeah, a lot of people believe Lovecraft stuff is actually bona fide ancient history that's been released as fiction because it'd be too world-shattering.
Well, a
It'd be
lot
like-
of people think chocolate milkshake comes from brown cows.
This is true. This is true. You know,
People are idiots.
people are idiots.
These giants were not as tall as me. Nobody's taller than me.
Can you say in a Trump voice, please, I've got a bigger dick than a giant?
My dick, okay. My dick is so much bigger than the dick of a giant, okay? No giant's dick is as big as my dick, okay? He's a moron. Huge. It's huge. China.
I see we're going to war with Iran now anyway. That's the next thing.
Fuck him. That's probably how he literally, that's the level we're at with Trump. He's going to come out for his press conference announcing the war. We're going to war with Iran because fuck him.
There's no reason, just
Go team.
back to the Secret City.
Yeah, sorry.
In the 2007 book Secret Societies, conspiracy theorist Philip Gardner, I'm pretty sure I've heard him on the Unexplained podcast before now, states that occult practices did take place in Irem and were then put into fictional form for Lovecraft's work. 5 years later, in Bob Curran's Lost Lands, Forgotten Realms, he says, some traditions say that Irem was built by the jinn themselves before the time of Adam and was later inhabited by man. It was literally a city of the old ones. Or, he also claims it was home to the Watchers. Guess what they do?
They watch.
Are they a bit like the Watchers in Marvel? Do they watch?
Yeah.
From space?
The name gives it away, really. No, they're all blindfolded. It's irony. No, they watch. They are a race of giant angels sent from heaven to watch over humans. They are also known as the Nephilim and giants amongst Christian circles and aliens in other circles.
So you've done a good job, are they?
You've got this wonderful mishmash of, is this religion? Is it aliens? Is it dark occultism? It's pre-religion. That's what did puzzle me during this. You've got the Christians like, oh yeah, the Nephilim, it's in the Bible. But this predates the Bible massively. We're talking 3000 BC here.
Are you suggesting the Bible was cobbled together with all the best bits of previous religions?
Yes.
It's true. I know it's true. I've seen Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Must have seen Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
What was his name? Mithras, is it? Or
The
something?
sun.
It
Ra.
should be Jesus, yeah, Ra, Mithras, Horus. It's all very similar.
But it's all explained like really simply in like astronomical terms, isn't it? It's like something happens on the 20. You know, the sun goes down, reborn, changes seasons. So it's easy to see where these mythologies came from. But anyway, we're not here to bash the Christians. Well,
Aren't we? No. I'll get your coat.
So what's your money on? Aliens?
Well, whatever they are, according to mythology, the Nephilim begin to desire human women. Who doesn't?
Their eyes aren't painted on.
That's it. They're watchers after all. What are they watching?
And the giants watch the girls while the girls watch the giants while the girls. They can't see eye to eye because he's too fucking tall.
But you know, so some of them decides to settle down on Earth and knock some kids out.
Poor human women. I hope these giants weren't proportionate.
Well,
What did they use for lube in ancient times?
some kind of pig fat, I'd imagine.
That's going to get the woman in the mood, isn't it? Rub some pig fat in your vagina. You're going to get fucked by a giant in a minute.
If you come home,
Soldier these Nephilim.
you come
His
home,
wife now.
he's got a pan of fat on the stove. You're like, oh fuck, I know what he wants tonight. I've barely recovered from last time. They had to realign my hips.
Wouldn't it be more of a concern to you guys that she's got to give birth?
Yeah, but at least it'll be half breed, so it'll be like, you know, not quite full giant size, but still
Oh
big.
man, imagine if you're the shortest half giant.
Oh, bless. He's human-sized, a
Yeah.
fucking runt. They probably stoned those ones to death.
Probably, actually, yeah, it wouldn't be
The
pure
runt,
enough.
the runt of the litter never survives, does it? You know,
I did,
or
my last dog was the run for the litter. He survived till he was 5.
with human intervention. If they were out in the woods, would they not have just turned on him?
Yeah, maybe not, yeah. Good point. I didn't rescue him from the woods, I don't know. But I'm a breeder, no idea. Though the concept of angels behaving like this is not found in Islam, the pillars of Irem seem to become associated with mythical beings similar to the Watchers who existed before the Great Flood. And I did go and check if the Great Flood is in Islam. They're not really into that.
It's in most cultures have some sort of myth because, again, back to the ancient. I sign up to the Graham Hancock theory of previous civilizations being lost to cataclysms, and flooding is definitely a side effect of something huge hitting the earth, and all these ancient cultures have this same fucking myth, or very similar.
A lot of cultures do have the Great Flood myth. Islam doesn't go for it, but they do revere Noah as a prophet who lived to be like 150.
Okay. There's a lot of crossover in these. I didn't realise there was like a Marvel DC team up.
Yeah.
The religious
Oh yeah,
side
yeah.
of things.
Well, you think about it. Christianity is Judaism and then Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Judaism is just old school Christianity. Well, sorry, that's the wrong way around. But you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And Islam is like a bit of both, but also goes off on a tangent to where the prophet's flying off on a flying horse at the end.
Careful.
I can say that. I
Ben
went
trying to
so-
sum up the world religions in one sentence was never going to go well.
I don't know anything about Islam. I know
I wonder why you two stopped, sort of looked away when I started talking about Islam.
we were just giving you the rope.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, it's all bollocks. Whichever one you
Ben is
follow.
just offended about half the world's population.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But you know what? I'll give it its due. It's had some good ideas. It's produced some amazing artwork over the years.
I
How's
think
that?
there's good in religions, I think there's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not an atheist, what am I?
An agnostic.
As an agnostic, I think that's a good.
I think I'm agnostic. Because I think God is a word, is a human word. I think the best person I've ever heard explain it is Russell Brand of all fucking people. When he said, like, my cat has got no concept of Wi-Fi and he never can have any concept of Wi-Fi. It's simply beyond his powers of comprehension. Doesn't mean Wi-Fi is not real. I think there could be some. I don't think God is a fucking being, or I think it's something beyond my fucking.
I personally
thought
think
capability.
atheism is as bad as religion because you're nailing down on something that you clearly don't have
I just think
proof of. You don't have proof there isn't a God.
No, but the burden of proof is on the believer.
Yeah, but surely
think
the
what it
place to be is somewhere in between. There is a God, or there isn't a God.
Show me
because-
there is.
Show me there isn't.
Show me there is. Your burden of
There you
proof's
go.
burden of proof's on you. Show me there is.
I think.
But like I said, it's something that we might not be able to comprehend.
I think it's beyond. I think it's semantics, right? I think this word God has got a human attachment to it. Where you say God, you think of a being, don't you? The creator.
The dude in the white bit with the white beard.
Yeah, the sky daddy. But I think
It could be a sound. A lot of people believe that God is a sound.
Oh, it's the arm thing. Yeah, we've just mentioned that. Yeah.
I think possibly, like evolution and just life, right? The force that we don't really understand. We have a go at understanding it, don't we? Evolution and all that. The life, I don't think it's a being. I think maybe life is, quote, God. Do you know what I mean? Like just life itself, just.
Well, we could be a simulation.
That's also true. We could be in the dream of a God.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a very human semantic definition of God that sort of fucks things up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got anything to do with the dogmatic religions and all that. I think it's a fucking force that's beyond my fucking understanding as a small little human.
I just go for the fact I think it's just a very primitive and effective means of control.
Yeah.
From the
That's religion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
the
God.
God.
It was. But it doesn't mean that all religions do that. It doesn't mean that all religions are bad. Some religions, I would say that Buddhism has had a positive effect on the world.
It's more of a science of the mind, isn't it? Than a religion.
It's classed as a religion, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's more.
They believe in afterlife.
Yeah. Well, there's even because my best mate's Sikh, and I think they've got one of the fucking best religions because it's a bit more like Buddhism. You know, there's no they do have a holy book, but they don't necessarily. It's like the gurus who set up the religion. That's who they sort of pray to and worship.
Guru Nanak.
Guru Nanak.
Was he the first one or the last one?
I think the
First one.
That's why all the gurdwaras, temples, are called Guru Nanak something usually. But anyway, it's more of a science of behaviour, a code of ethics.
Yes, absolutely.
Like just about how you treat your fellow man and yourself, basically. Which is
Positive
why you
stuff,
can go to any Sikh temple anywhere in the country and go and get a warm meal and some food and drink. Basically, anybody off the street can go in at certain times of the day, and the kitchen will be open, and that's just part of their ethics, I guess. I like that.
A lot of Christians believe in giving to the poor.
The problem is they also
and
believe
Islam.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. It's then when you get into all the
It's
other
the extremists that ruin it for everyone, I guess.
the literalists. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that takes us back to that abortion ban in Alabama. Takes us to the guys who are just making a quick buck off of people's beliefs. And I think that's what kind of put me off the entire concept in the first place.
I'm definitely not down for the major organised ones. I don't want to go and give my money and read your book, which I know was written by people. It was written by people. It might have been written by people hundreds of years ago, but it was still fucking people. There's nothing godly about it. And I'm more tempted to believe that God is out. God as a concept is, like I said, that I'm struggling to explain.
Do you think that God is like the force in a way? It's that little energy that binds us all together.
It's whatever started the universe expanding and stars and
energy. Then
the sun, because we don't really know what that is, do we? We do, but we don't. You know what I mean?
No, we can't go far enough into an atom to find.
There you go.
You know, we can only go so far to like quarks and subquarks and things like that. But we think that there might be like small sort of hairs that sort of oscillate.
Wow.
And that gives, energy and everything to the universe, so God could be something like that.
That's where I think God is. I don't think
that's a
God...
string theory, that is.
But then I think the problem is literally with the word God. We've made that word, haven't we? And there's all this extra attachment to it. We need a different word for it. The Force is the best. Honestly. Well, it is. And their description of the Force in Star Wars basically is what I'm talking about, isn't it? It's the Force that binds us and unites
penetrates
us.
Yes.
Penetrate, I will.
Let Yoda got some penetrating this time.
Here's a question. Is Yoda a virgin?
I think the Jedi, the top guys in the Jedi, I think they go off and fuck. I think it's the same as any organisation. They tell everyone below them they can't, but they're off doing it.
Is Yoda the only one of his little kind?
You do see some others, don't you?
I don't think you see any, but he goes back to his home planet.
Dagobah.
Dagobah system.
Is that his home planet?
Yeah.
Or is that just where he was
I
hiding
believe.
I just thought he's hiding out there because he was remote, he's a swamp and nothing lived there.
Maybe then. But I
So
see he
that's
looks like
the Empire would look.
But he looks like a little swamp creature, doesn't he?
I bet he fucks like a champion because you look at him hobbling about with his stick, but then when he has to fight Dooku, he's fucking backflipping and like a little mental frog. Well, imagine him on the job.
Jumping up in the air and sort of sorting back down and going back in.
You put rabbits to shame, man. Sorry, Master.
So, I just want one last quick thing on religion.
Yeah.
You got all these charlatans who are making a quick buck about your Joel Osteens, half the people having full Alex and all that.
Yeah.
I just think if there was a God, he'd have struck them down by now for taking all of his teachings in absolute vain.
He's not going to be happy with them, is he?
Possible, isn't it?
So you think, well,
I believe there might be a God, but
why-
I don't believe that there might be, like Gaz is saying, like our interpretation of a God, the Christian interpretation of a God, or...
I think that's got to be bollocks, isn't it? Some sentient being up in... Like, where is he? Where does he reside? What is
where the fuck's he been?
So is heaven part of the multiverse? Is it interdimensional? Like, where is he? Because he's not literally up there, is he? Or the space shuttle would have hit him.
There's some of those things you got to question.
Oh, the space travel's not real, Gaz.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting space isn't
It's a
real.
flat Earth, mate, you know.
The firmament. Diamonds in the firmament.
Yeah.
Before we go deep into theological discussion,
Yes.
can I have Can I use the bathroom, please?
I could do with a piss as well.
I need a beer, it's all good. Thirsty work, this theological stuff, isn't it?
I think we should all take a moment to thank God for toilets and plumbing.
No, I thank
Before we
Thomas
move on.
Crapper who invented them.
Awesome.
So we're back. Where were we? The Arabic historian, geographer and traveller Al-Masudi, in his book Akbar al-Zaman, even suggested that some early pre-Islamic Arabs believed the people of Irem were Nephilim-type giants. So could it exist? Could it be home to alien giants? Well, in 1973, archaeologists at the ancient city of Elba in Syria uncovered the largest stash of cuneiform tablets assembled at the time. The tablets contain writings more than over 4,000 years older than anything ever found. These tablets contain trading records of all the countries Elba traded with, including one called Irem.
Ooh. Juicy.
What? I suppose basically it's their tax returns, it's their receipts.
The only problem I have with these tablet thing, this is my problem with Mr. Sitchin, is it's in a language that... What language were those tablets in, does it say?
No, I didn't. I assume
So
it's...
probably Arabic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just
I
getting...
don't,
Because
know
sometimes...
I don't know how much the Arabic language
It's changed.
has changed over time.
Me either.
No, but remember there's a lot of scholars of ancient Arabic and
Yeah.
ancient Arabic culture because it was the most advanced culture.
But
Yeah.
the point I was getting at is there's also a lot of guesswork in this like type of thing, isn't it? You know, like...
I know what you mean, because Egyptian has changed from ancient Egyptian.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hebrew has changed from ancient Hebrew. So I'd imagine that,
There's always someone about who can read this stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is, isn't there? You
I'm
know,
not doubting it, I was just
Yeah.
wondering...
No. But there's always someone about who knows how to read this stuff.
Yeah, they study it, don't they?
Yeah.
It's their study.
That's pretty fucking interesting though, isn't it?
Hmm.
So do you take that then as evidence that it actually did exist? I guess it is, isn't it?
Well-
or somewhere called Irem.
Yeah.
I think, I think there's every cities and civilizations
Come and
rise and
go.
fall.
Yeah.
And we're talking 3,000 years. We're talking 3,000 BC.
This is Graham Hancock's, one of his arguments, is that if we were wiped out by a cataclysm now, and you think of all this stuff as permanent, all our cities and our infrastructure, if there was a giant catastrophic cataclysm and we were all wiped out, in 2,000 years' time there would be literally fucking
Yeah.
zero evidence of any of the planes, any of the cars,
Doesn't
any of the
even-
buildings.
Doesn't even have to be a
God.
cataclysm. Like, for example, for Irem,
Yeah.
it's in the middle of a desert.
Yeah,
Now,
it's been swallowed by the
The
sand.
sand
Right.
dunes
Mm.
are moving and they're growing.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
nothing.
just could just swallow the city over time.
Materials
Yeah.
break down and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what
And, and then of course you
A
get
few
like...
dust storms and suddenly
any
half your
evidence
city's
is gone.
covered in sand.
Well, alright, let's say that there's a cataclysm of some kind, and let's say that us three and some other people survive, and
Yeah.
we're the eldest out of all these people, and we try and educate the youth,
Yeah.
right? So, like, we tell them about the cities, so New York, London, Paris,
Yeah.
Berlin, Moscow, we tell them all about them.
Peckham.
But Peckham, that's part of London, Mike.
It's a house and only fools. And it was wonderful.
Yes, that's it. I didn't get it, fair enough. Yeah, I got it now. It's alright, I'm with
It's
you.
all good.
But yeah, but then over time, we're talking 3,000 BC up to now. So what's that? That's over 5,000 years. These things do become legendary. In 5,000 years' time, after we're dead and we've told the next generation, they've told that generation.
Yeah.
Things Chinese whisper,
That's it.
don't they?
Well-
And before you know, it's the legendary city of New York.
Well, that's genuinely where I believe that this whole the sort of Great Flood comes from. Because obviously, some people, as we're sat here now, some people did survive the asteroid impact or whatever it was. Right.
Alien death ray.
Obviously, a few humans did survive because we're still here now. But they would have then had this oral. That was their only way of passing it down. Yeah, we used to be multitude. We were prosperous, but the Great Flood came. And
Yeah.
we escaped to a fucking mountain. That was 1,000 years ago. So yeah, it will change. And then oral Chinese whispers, exactly like you said, oral tradition. Every retelling of the story is going to slightly change,
Yeah.
just a smidge.
Because someone, I remember that being in it. And then they tell that, and then that becomes fact.
Mm. So it could, whether or not I believed they were alien giants or angel giants or what, and that I don't know. We'll get there, but I think the fact that it existed, I'm definitely open. I can.
Yeah, so far I'm with it. I think there could have been a city called Irem or Irem, and
That's lost.
that's lost. Yeah, and the same as.
And it won't be the only one. There'll be thousands of cities
of course,
lost that we've
of
got
course.
no evidence
The,
of.
the amount of ruins out in the Middle East of ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
You know.
It's so fucked up that mainstream archaeology is so resistant. It's like they've got their official story and they are fucking well sticking to it, and no matter how much.
Unfortunately, that happens with all science disciplines.
But no matter, even Göbekli Tepe, all that pops up and they're still like, no, they were hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers built this. Yep, because that's what we were then, because that's our fucking story.
Yeah. Anyone that deviates from the story is considered fringe.
They're a kook.
They're a heretic.
Yeah, and you get fucking ridiculed
Yeah.
and fucking and cast out, basically. Just what happened to Mr. Hancock. I know, I don't take everything he fucking says as gospel, but he's the first person to open me up to this idea, and it's one that I really, really gone with. I
I can get on board with some of it. I can. You know, that the nuclear,
Sphinx, I agree with
the
it.
nuclear glass that's been found, that fucking field of sand that's been turned to glass, is like exactly the
Explain
same
that.
stuff that happened when they let off the A bombs in the Las Vegas desert, in the Nevada desert.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking stuff.
Could that happen by lightning strike?
Nah, I'd imagine the heat generated from a lightning strikes in the wind. Well, no, the fucking heat of a nuclear explosion is like the heat of the sun. It's turning sand to glass. I mean, look, that's a massive chemical reaction straight away.
I think it's arrogant to assume that we've excavated and searched every square inch of this giant planet, and we've got all the fucking answers, and we've got the fucking official story. Just because there's no evidence of this city, well, there is, because there's oral evidence. I guess.
Well, and these tablets.
There you go, and the tablets. I think.
Do you know there's a half-life on facts? So a fact will degrade over time. Honestly.
Okay.
Because new knowledge comes about.
Yeah.
So every fact has a half-life. So
Right,
True.
today it's a fact.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
50
give us
years
20
time,
years. Yeah.
it could be completely different.
And remember that a lie goes twice around the world before the truth's had a chance to put its pants on.
Very true. I like that.
Churchill said that.
Hey! Good old Churchy. Churchy baby. Do you reckon anyone called him that?
No,
When
maybe.
the president rang him. Who
No,
was the president
no,
at
I
the
don't
time?
think. I don't think Roosevelt had the nuts to
Oh,
call him
Roosevelt.
Churchy baby, or Truman certainly didn't.
Hey, Churchy baby! What's happening?
And
Hello.
I think well, Churchill was drunk most of the time. So.
Bloody Americans, they're so uncouth. Churchy baby. I should execute the cunt.
Like I did millions of Indians.
Well,
There's a story for another time.
As a Tory.
There's a Tory for another time as well.
Why is it when the Tories get in power, they always kill millions of people?
guess a dick's hard, doesn't it? And then Teresa's case gives her a wide on.
I mean, the stuff this government has done to its people, we hanged people at Nuremberg for this.
Yeah. But
no one bats an eyelid because they're in power.
no, I was thinking about this. I think we discussed it last week. The old Mitchell and Webb sketch of they're dressed as Nazis and
Oh, of
asking
course,
each other,
yeah. Are we the
"Are
baddies?
you sure we're the goodies?" Aren't Americans, you know, as they fucking
I think they need to ask themselves that question.
yeah, are we the good guys? Oh, I heard on Joe Rogan as well the other day. She's a presidential candidate. I can't remember her name, but she's
Tulsi Gabbard.
that's it. And she
I love
actually
her.
served in the military. Me too, man.
I don't know if I've seen her actually.
She's awesome. She's totally into the whole, like, she's like, look, we go to war for oil, we know that. I went out there as a soldier. She joined up after 9/11 because she wanted to fight the fucking bad guys. She wanted to put some wrongs right. Gets out there and realises, what the fuck? I know why, I see why we're here. So she wants to put an end to, like, what do they call it? Regime change wars.
Interventionist.
Yeah, put an end to all that shit. She was saying she believes that every serving president should have been a serving soldier, at the very least, to give him that kind of perspective.
I'm not sure about that. You end up with a militaristic society. You could end up with a...
Or the opposite, you end up with somebody who doesn't willy-nilly send men to war.
It depends how indoctrinated they've been by the military. I mean,
She's definitely
a serving soldier of 5 years, no. A serving soldier of 30 years, sorry, a serving soldier of 5 or 6 years.
5-star general.
Yes, then I'll have them as a, alright, they've done their time, they know what it's about. But a 4-star general who's been in all his life, who's completely indoctrinated by that, no. Not a fucking. That's a dictator, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think that's not what she.
Oh, they're saying that Eisenhower.
I know
was,
what you're saying.
The point is, he should have at very least been in the military to
Yeah.
have some fucking concept
At least
of what you're
appoint,
asking men
at least
to do.
appoint
and
an
women.
advisor.
I really liked her. She
I love her.
She wants
She's
the
brilliant.
universal income.
I'm not. Yeah.
It's all good.
I'm not totally hot on her. I don't know all of her domestic policies.
No, I was impressed, man.
Certainly her foreign policy, I'm definitely on board with.
He's
I
had a
think it's
good.
better than Bernie's, to be honest.
Though I'm saying that Eisenhower, remember, was a 4-star general. He wasn't that bad a president, was he?
I don't know.
If you take out the deal with the aliens,
I like what he said when he left office.
beware the military-industrial complex.
They played that in the interview, didn't they?
Didn't they? I
'Cause that-
watched it, yeah.
Yeah, he's had a good few guests the last couple of weeks, Joe. It's very hit and miss, that podcast. It can either be the most interesting thing you've ever fucking listened to, or just really fucking boring sometimes. It totally depends who he's interviewing. Which,
We don't do bad with this, the three of us, really.
yeah. We'd be good guests.
We'd be high.
Yeah. He wouldn't understand us.
No, that's also true. Shall I carry on? Now, according to the Quran, not only were its inhabitants cursed by God, they were oversized humans able to uproot trees with their bare hands and intelligent enough to build a city composed of large buildings, spires and pillars that reached the sky. Their leader was called Shaddad bin Ad. They were the tribe of Ad.
Shaddad bin Ad.
Yeah. He had some energy to burn, did Shaddad bin Ad. And he, according to some fringe historians, possibly Mr. Hancock, I don't know, he brutally conquered the entire Arabian Peninsula in addition to Iraq. But because of this act, and add to their idolatry and ignorance, Allah wiped them and their civilization off the face of the earth as though they never existed via a huge sandstorm.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off the god, do you?
It's not a wise thing to do.
Mother Nature.
Giants
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
See, most archaeologists will go for that it may have been a city established about 3000 BC that was lost in a cataclysmic event. Possibly an earthquake, some kind of massive sandstorm. Who knows?
Well, Atlantis.
I mean, nowadays you've got the infrastructure to deal with a massive sandstorm, haven't you? Let's say like a massive wall of sand moving towards Cairo and some sandstorm was ripped up. Yeah, alright, you might have a lot of sand in the streets for a few weeks, eventually it's going to get cleared, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going
But
to wipe
if
the
over
city
hundreds-
off the face
if
of the
over
planet.
hundreds of years it encroaches onto your
Yeah,
land.
we've got diggers now. We've got
We have,
mechanical
yeah.
diggers, so we just move it back.
Or if a really sudden one is coming along, a really lethal, horrific one, we've got the communications and things to
We'd know it was
evacuate,
coming,
and we'd get people out of there and
Build
yeah.
defences.
But they might have had that back then. That's the thing, we don't know. They could have had technology beyond our comprehension, but there would be. That's why I like this point of if we were wiped out now in 3,000 years, no one's going to find fucking fully formed Boeing 747s and skyscrapers. It will all be fucking gone. So some people think that they built these temples with have gravitational fucking energy like machines, they could flying machines
Them.
flying machines to put certain stones in places, helicopters essentially.
Yeah.
But why there wouldn't be any evidence of it? We've got just because there's no cave pictures of helicopters, or maybe there is weird stuff in the hieroglyphs.
There is some weird
isn't
stuff,
there?
and the hieroglyphics. I can't remember if they're Mayan or Egyptian. There's certainly some
Look like
hieroglyphics done.
helicopters, don't they?
And they look like helicopters and various. One looks like a fucking Apache, which is weird.
Wouldn't that have been really useful in building the top bit of a pyramid?
It would just drop that capstone on. There you go. Job's a good one.
There's something like spaceman and space
Yeah,
helmets, isn't there?
yeah. And there's even one that some Mayan one is looks exactly like the launch pod of the Apollo missions. The guy's like strapped in like that, and he's got all these controls in front of him. And they say it's something to do with going to the afterlife or going downstairs or whichever one it was. But it looks exactly the same as like one of the Apollo control panels.
It's fucked because we'll never know. We can do our best guess with it, but it was also they found this bracelet. I can't remember how many thousands of years old he said it was, but it doesn't fit in with the official narrative. It had a hole in it, the bracelet, and I'm not sure how they know this, but from the way the hole is, it was made with sort of pressure controlled You know, the kind of drill where you pull the handle down, so it's controlled, it's constant, maintained
revolutions per minute.
Yeah, it wasn't fucking hand done, mate. For all they can tell, it looks like it was machined, this hole. But it was like, it's 8,000 years old or whatever.
And then you find these rocks that are like literally split in half with precision. Puma Punku, something like that. One of the cities. It's all like these rocks just fit perfectly together as if they've been machined or lasered.
Is it machines or extreme backbreaking labour? Because it's like, I always go back to the Red Dwarf quote, Boys from the Dwarf. Once again, if you're a new listener, collectively our favourite television show ever, Red Dwarf, check it out. But basically, Rimmer's alluding to the fact that aliens built the pyramids, and then he says to Lister, well, how else did they build them then? Lister says, they had whips, Rimmer. massive whips.
Yeah. And I do tend to lean towards that.
Definitely could be a possibility.
It's like, if you've got 10,000 blokes pulling a stone, you're going to pull that stone. And then, they're rolling logs underneath it, and then as soon as they clear the one, the team grabs it, they run round, put it under the front.
And I suppose with the stone that looks like it's been precision lasered, maybe 200 people all...
Yeah. Chipping away at it,
sanding away at it with whatever hand tools they had, you probably could over time achieve something pretty.
Well, they were digging it out of literally digging it out of a cliff face. There was like thousands of people doing it, and then they dig it out, and then a couple of hundred people are going to work at it, and they've got all that. They've got several on the go, and eventually that supply chain just keeps coming. It's just logistics, isn't it?
So frustrating that we'll never know, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's so fucking frustrating. Unless I don't know, like
Time machine, isn't it? That's the only way, isn't it?
Or Vrillian or somebody like that. We finally make contact, and they're like, "Yeah, we could show you this like DVDs, mate." Do you know what I mean?
Here's our DVD. We don't use them, mate. Only Blu-ray.
But mate, I could show you what happened 12,000 years ago. Fucking whack it in, lad. Skin up. And they've got all this footage from back then.
Space.
Imagine he turns up with like a VHS.
Yeah.
Really rocks up with a VHS. So like, mate.
Fucking hell, that's on eBay.
4K Blu-ray now, pal. Where are you? We put our energies into more enlightened things. Oh, you've clearly never seen Expendables 2, have you?
But once again, to go back to the dwarf, they explain why they went back to tapes. It's because nobody's ever lost a tape.
That's true.
DVDs, you always find empty DVD cases. Oh, where the fuck have I put that? Nobody ever lost a VHS.
No. In 1930, explorer Bertrand Thomas was told by Bedouin tribesmen that a rich and beautiful city once existed and could be found under the sands. Bedouin, of course, they would know the legends better than anybody. They're in the desert all the time, aren't they? They're basically affiliated to no nation.
They're nomads, aren't they?
Yeah. Like Captain America when he leads the Avengers.
Nomad.
Lawrence of Arabia, T.E. Lawrence, apparently looked for it during the war. I found a little bit on that, but nothing concrete. I like to think that they looked for it during the war because there's some kind of ancient knowledge that had helped them win. Some occult shit going on there, a bit Hellboy-esque.
They're definitely very interested in that part of the world, aren't they?
I was thinking like a bit Hellboy-esque. Maybe the British were looking for some kind of demon to raise to fight for them. That'd be pretty sweet.
Mystical powers.
Yeah. Wanted to look for it after the war. It's been in 1935, but sadly died. In 1948, petroleum surveyors found a massive wall leading to a fort in Oman, as well as a cave entrance leading into the darkness of the earth. However, they just made a note of it and moved on. There's no oil there, not interested.
What's in the cave?
Never went down.
I can't believe that, can you?
Well,
they're looking for oil, Mike.
Maybe they didn't have the equipment or the...
They're just looking for oil. That's all they're interested in. They're getting paid to search for oil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every day they waste costs the company money.
Yeah, good point. On the company's dime.
In 1992, satellite technology gives some proof of the lost city of giants through imagery by trying to track the trade routes.
Right.
And here, researchers looking for ancient settlements on the frankincense route in Saudi Arabia, this is in the early 80s, found a promising location close to a water well called Ash-Shishar, in a site which had previously identified as a 16th century fort. The expedition team, including adventurer Ranulph Fiennes, let's face it, pretty big name in the world of adventuring and exploration.
Yeah.
Bit of a legend, you'd argue.
Old Ranulph.
One of the last great British eccentrics, in a way. Yeah. Lost 3 fingers to frostbite, got fed up waiting for the doctor to amputate them, put them in a vice, did it with a child's hacksaw.
Yeah.
Doctor said I'd done a good job.
He is a legend. Isn't
He-
he absolutely is.
Yeah. Archaeologist Juris Zanis, unfortunately I've never heard of you, mate. Filmmaker Nicholas Clapp, or you. And a lawyer, George Hedges. I don't know what the lawyer's there.
Okay.
Ownership. That's what the lawyer's there. You find something, you've got to put an ownership claim, haven't you?
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
It's not just finders keepers anymore, because you remember how the Brits robbed everything when we conquered most of the world, like the Elgin the Elgin marbles you've got there from Greece, aren't they? The Greeks are like, can we have them back? And we're just like, no. And there's a big campaign for us to give them back, and we just like, no, we took them, mate. Should have looked after them better.
Took a lot of stuff from India.
Oh, I read somewhere that it was trillions over
Believe it.
the 200 years or so that we owned India. It was how many is hundreds of trillions?
Hundreds of trillions.
You think it's hundreds of trillions? Yeah, it was that. Where's all that money gone?
Well, it's
People at the top. People who own the East India Company.
but we stole things like we stole jewellery and sacred
Queen
objects
Victoria.
and heirlooms and things that we had no fucking business taking.
Is it the Star of India, the Heart of India, that massive diamond the Queen's got? It's literally like a fucking egg. Yeah, it's been cut. It started off that size, and it's been cut down a bit and put into other things. But yeah, it's like fucking
Couldn't
huge.
believe her Christmas message. She's there saying, people come together in times of need and hardship. Sitting there in front of a golden piano.
Oh God!
Have you ever been to the Tower of London and looked at the crown jewels?
I haven't, no.
Well, yeah. There's no coming together in times of hardship when you go in there, mate. Trust me.
Makes you sick, man.
Fuck 'em.
I was in there on a scouting mission, but plan never came off.
She's still gonna die, just like the rest of us. So fuck her. She suffers the same fate as us all. She'll just die in really, really comfortable surroundings,
Yeah.
At a very old age.
having never struggled a fucking second of her life.
Don't you have someone to dress her?
Probably.
Yeah, I could do with someone to
They
dress
all
her.
do, yeah, don't they? The Queen and
Yeah.
Prince Philip.
Just put your arms up, t-shirt on. There we go.
Fuck! I had a shock today. Speaking of queens. Steady. So I had this bright idea, right? Because I've got my terrible gaming channel, which I've started now, where I'm playing the worst games I can find. I've had some leaflets made, uber cheap. So I've got this big box of leaflets, and the owner's like, "Oh, what are you going to do with them?" I'm like, "I've got a genius plan." Okay, I found a list online of every single independent video game shop in the country. I'm going to pick one in each sort of area, get a good spread, one in each county maybe, or one in each major town. I'm going to send them all a pile of leaflets. And she's like, "That's going to be expensive, isn't it?" I'm like, no, I'm not going to send a big pile so it's heavy, just enough to get away with a letter. And she's like, "It's still going to be expensive." I said, "No, it's not." And she said, "How much do you think stamps are?" And I said, and this is a genuine answer. I said, "Well, I'm going to go second class. I'm not thick. They're about 4 pence each, aren't they?" She looked at her, "You're a fucking moron."
4
She said-
pence back in about 1931.
She said, she literally was like, "How old are you?" She said, "Google it now." I Googled, 70 pence! I was like, my plan's fucking ruined. I'm planning on buying 200 stamps for fuck, like, that's going to be nearly 200 quid in stamps. She said, "I know." Well, fucking Queen's just ruined I thought I'd come up with a really fucking clever, old school fashion way of, promotion, going back to the old school. Fucking 70 pence a stamp.
Honestly, stamps are like fucking currency, mate. They are. They have massive worth. We have stamps at work. They used to be kept on a picking station in a lock-up. If there's no one, if you left that station to get the pisser, you had to lock this thing up.
Right.
They're fucking valuable as shit. Now they go in these vertical storage machines, and they're kind of on a shelf, and they come down, so you can't access it unless you know where it is.
Fucking hell.
But when that needs topping up, we have to go to a safe. I shit you not, a legitimate safe. Unlock it, do the whole fucking combination, blah blah blah. Open it up, and then write down exactly how much we're taking out, how much is left. Take it what we're taking out, put it back in. it's like they are fucking valuable.
I suppose if a second class
These are
is
books
70,
of like 50
yeah,
first class stamps.
if a second class stamp is 70, I'm going to assume then that a first is at least £1 then.
More, man, I think we're looking close to fucking £3.
No.
Second is 70.
Yeah, I'd say about £1 maybe.
Let's say £1. But like you said then, if you've got a book of 50, that's 50 quid, isn't it?
Alright,
So
Google it.
that's valuable.
If a second class stamp is 70p, a first class stamp's got to be over by £1.50.
I'd say closer to £1.
How much is a first class stamp? £1.26. The cost rises to £1.64 for large letters up to 500 grams and £2.22 for those weighing up to and including 750 grams.
This is on weight now, isn't it, you see? Anyway, this is a bit of a fucking deep conversation. Ben, Mike and Gaz. Ben, Gaz and Mike look up the prices of stamps. We'll put that in description.
This is riveting, isn't it?
Please leave a 5-star review.
Like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook, share it with your friends, tell them it's fucking mad, you'll never know what they'll talk about, they're fucking mad, 1 minute it's lizards, then it's the price of stamps.
I feel like we've lost some credibility just. We ventured into elderly uncle territory.
Fucking... I generally
I bought a
thought...
nice sweater the other day.
Mate, do you want the blankets go over your knees?
Bit chilly now. I do actually.
Could someone get my pipe and slippers, please?
There's
Slippers on.
If there's a listener out there who would like to see my YouTube channel grow because they like me and they've got 200 quid laying around, could you send me a book of 200 stamps? Thanks. Cheers.
If you get that.
In advance.
Wow.
I'll get that, I'll be pissed off. They're like, why don't they just give me 200 quid? Fucking stupid stamps. And buy a blowjob in stamps.
If you've got a prostitute, stamp collecting prostitute, maybe.
A really desperate postman.
I doubt the last thing a postman needs is stamps.
Yeah, to be
that's
fair,
very
everybody gets
true.
a free from work.
Yeah. Bastard. If I just print out some free post, if I like find an
What
envelope
you want
that came
is
to
some
me,
kind
Can we
of
move
Frankie
on from the
machine.
posting and stamping and...
Set up a business address.
don't cut any of this out. This is riveting.
Set up a business address,
And
yeah.
then I get a business.
Then you get a business.
Rates.
Then you get business rates, but you could also get a franking machine,
Okay.
that's like you pay a set amount and you send X amount of letters out.
Excellent. Thanks for the tip.
It's alright.
Now back to the ancient.
Back to the ancient saying.
giants.
The team of Ranulph Fiennes, Juris Zanis, Nicholas Clapp, and George Hedges scouted the area on several trips, uncovering remains of an earlier settlement which they believe could have served as an outpost on a trade route to Irem. About 300 to 500 AD, the fort collapsed, probably because of a cave-in of an underground water source, which has assured its survival in the harsh desert climate for many centuries. There's a sense of irony.
The thing that kept them going.
Destroyed it in the end.
Love something too much, it'll kill you. Do you want to know the irony of that? That's I heard.
This is water. Oh, that'll kill you.
Muhammad Ali said on. You ever seen the documentary When We Were Kings?
No.
I'm sure he says in that if you love something too much, it'll kill you. And then he loved boxing too much, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, back to the Giants. I tell you what though, if Ralph Fiennes has written a book about this,
Ranulph Fiennes.
Ranulph, sorry, I'll fucking read that. If he ever, because he's a writer as well, isn't he? He does books, doesn't he? Or am I imagining
I
that?
don't know.
About his adventures.
I thought he probably would do while he's recovering from bouts of frostbite
He's the
or
sort of
sunstroke.
He's the sort of upper class posh person that I genuinely adore. Like, yes, he's uber posh, but he's an army man.
He was in the SAS.
He's military, he's hardcore, he's a fucking beast among men, do you know what I mean? He's a fucking man's man.
He's
I don't
got
care
that
how posh he is.
explorer's spirit.
Yeah, I like them, see. It doesn't matter how posh you are then, because you're more of a man than I'm ever going to be. It doesn't matter how posh
You
are.
or I would not cut off 3 fingers of the child's hacksaw.
Never.
Because it had frostbite. We used to have the doctor do it.
Not to ensure my survival, even if it meant my survival, I'd probably die with my black fingers rather than cut them off with
Yeah.
a knife. Yeah. I like that he went out there because I like him.
However, there's no proof that the site was ever more than an isolated waterhole guarded by a relatively small fort.
I suppose you'd have to protect the waterhole, wouldn't you? If water's a finite, rare source.
Yeah.
But they've got no proof either way, have they, of anything? Really? Do you know
Well,
what
it
I mean?
could be.
That's
Yeah.
the thing, yeah. But they found something.
Well, they reckon it could have been an outpost, and why, if there's nothing out here, why is this here? If it's in the empty quarter, which is known as, and it's just desert,
That's a good point.
with the occasional water, why is this fort here?
Like, if nobody was using the motorway, there wouldn't be a service station.
Exactly. So it's trade routes, you got to look at that. In 2004, Dr. Abdullah Al-Said found 3-foot-high stone walls which appeared ancient in origin. There's a lot of these, 400 of them in fact. And they showed up on satellite photos too. Google Earth and that, and satellite imagery has been a massive thing in this. Because they do reckon that, well, there's all the... thing is, you can look in, you can focus on that empty quarter, and there will be settlements out there. There will be. Is one of them a man? Yeah, maybe. Was it populated by giants? Let's verge on caution and say probably not. But was there a settlement? Yeah, more than likely. Was there a massive city? Was there civilization? Yeah, more than likely. These things vanish. These things grow and vanish all the time.
Yep.
And maybe with the Chinese whispers things, as we mentioned earlier, maybe they weren't taller. Maybe they were just uber rich and more advanced. And then over time, these stories of them being more advanced has turned out they were physically more advanced.
That's it.
You know.
Oh, they were giants amongst men. They were. And before you know it, they're giants.
Yeah. We don't know, do we?
Yeah. The thing is, these things were nicknamed by the Bedouin as the work of being of the old men. So you presume the old ones. So that again, is it old men, or is it some kind of people who were here beforehand?
The previous men.
Yeah, the previous men. The first men.
Yeah. The first Avenger.
Of course.
The first giant.
Apparently there are also 9,000-year-old geoglyph patterns, which are the oldest on the planet, and they're things you can only see from above.
Right.
This ties us into ancient aliens.
Okay, yeah.
And so is, ancient astronauts, strange patterns, communication, landing strips.
Is there a bit of astrology, were they placed in strategic, were they in line with
These things usually
constellations? They seem to have had a very deep understanding back then, didn't they, for people less advanced than ourselves?
Yep.
That's it.
To me, it sounds more advanced to be able to place something perfectly in line with a star without any computer technology. It sounds more advanced to be than doing it with computer technology. I know you've got to be advanced to build the
The thing is, you've been studying this for hundreds and thousands of years, haven't you? Hundreds of years, thousands of years, people have been looking at the stars. Everyone's always looked at the
I
stars.
suppose before the internet.
And when they're tracking them stars, you've always got these clever fuckers in every society. They'll go, oh, that star was over there. The other,
Yeah.
What's going on here? And they'll start tracking them then. They'll look and they'll observe and they'll record.
Yeah.
And so if you want to set things up, because they know that, hey, these things are always in the same spot, on the same, it's over time, isn't it? So, the North Star doesn't move, sorry. But Orion, he was over there the other week, the other month, now he's over here. What's this about? That's how they track the calendar, isn't it? That's how they basically invented the calendar, was through the stars, the movement of the stars through the sky.
Clever people. Clever as me.
But it's not just... It happens, it's over thousands of years, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. And like my point I half finished earlier was, I suppose, before Brazzers, like looking at the sky was probably like, hey man, do you want to come round mine and look at some stars?
Drink some wine, look at the stars.
Yeah, okay, cool man. What's on tonight? I don't know.
Might be a shooting star, might be a meteorite.
And there'd be no light pollution back then.
Oh,
Yeah,
imagine
so
the view you'd have. I mean.
Yeah.
So, what are we going for then with the man? Because I've got a little bit more on the Necronomicon, which allegedly comes from this place. What about sorcery and magic with a K?
Okay, go on to that then, yeah.
Who built it then? Alien giants? Nephilim? Aliens? Giants? Alien giants?
I think we've come to the conclusion that it's probably just an ancient city that got lost in the sands.
Yeah.
And they could have just been taller than your average.
Well, they could have just been like an advanced civilization. I mean, like Rome, in 2,000 years' time, we used to say that the Romans will be remembered like this.
Yeah. I'm definitely open to its existence. Whether or not there were giant people involved, I can't say. Or reptilians, aliens. Somebody came here and seeded somebody. Allegedly, apparently.
Allegedly.
So, did it tie up with this? Did it align with this? I don't know. But I'm definitely open to the idea that it existed. Because I've got no way of
Well, you can't prove or
can't say
disprove
that it didn't, did it?
And civilizations rise and fall all the time. I mean, ours is probably on the decline now. Let's face
And
it.
you've got to think maybe a civilization outplaced where it was could be, no matter how advanced it was, quite fragile in the sense that, like you said, sand, lack of water,
Lack of food.
it wouldn't take long for everyone to die out if something went wrong, would it?
No.
Like your waterhole collapsing. So yeah, I'm going to go with, yeah, it existed.
Yeah, I go with that. I go with some civilization that was advanced, educated.
They were trading.
Yeah, I go with that. Did it get swallowed up by the desert? Massive freak sandstorm? Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. And if your average height back then was, I'm just guessing here, if you say your average height was 5 foot, 5'2", if there's a tribe of people that are all 6'5",
And maybe they've got that way over time because of their advanced diet. They've got a better diet than everyone else,
Or maybe they descended more from Neanderthal.
Or Nephilim.
Some sort of genetic quirk that just meant they were just.
We've all got about 3% Neanderthal, haven't we?
Yeah, we've all got a bit in us, haven't we?
I've seen more of that down Dolly. I just didn't remember fucking 70%, some of them. Knuckle dragging bastards.
You'll appreciate this. Made a new friend recently through a friend who's originally from Coventry, who's moved to Telford. He hasn't been here long, but even he said, Dawley, we were talking about accents and how, for the listener, Ben lives in a part of Telford called Dawley, which is within the city that surrounds it, has its own accent, its own way of talking, its own sayings. And even he said he's only been here like a year or so, and he's like another fucking world, Dawley, isn't it? I can't, even you know it. You're like, yes, it is. It's like this. Yeah. And he was like, it's as if Telford grew around it, and then they just refused to go with it. And we're like, nope, we're still the village of Dawley.
Well, remember that our town was going to be called Dawley New Town, so we consider ourselves superior to the rest of Telford.
Oh, you're First Nation Telfordite.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking hell. You and Iron Bridge. I know who got the better end of the stick.
Yeah,
anyway.
That was our fall from grace, that was when they just called it Telford and then done with it.
Good old Dawley. I suppose we should maybe, for regular listeners as well, all the Dawley jokes when you hear that is because Ben is from this area of our city.
And I am.
Little Dawley, you are.
Little Dawley.
Is that the posh bit, that is?
Dawley adjacent. Yeah, so
the
that's
posh area, it's like the suburbs.
Basically, there's a really weird little backwards hole in the centre of our giant city, and that's where these two come from. Oh, Bisner, Gacker!
We ain't fucking Brosley.
Well,
it was interesting. My granddad.
Because your sister won't shag you.
Genuinely, third most inbred place in the country. That was a stat. Brosley, yeah.
Well, they're all good swimmers.
Remember,
I'll say.
I couldn't understand a fucking word my granddad said. Genuinely.
Bisner, Gacker.
Couldn't understand a fucking word.
Apparently, that's the original Shropshire accent. Because Telford's got this weird amalgamation accent of just shitloads of
overspill, Gaz, they're referred to. Overspill.
That's a bit of tangent.
Overspill.
Yeah, I don't think I could justify this tangent. I could justify the stamps. Leave the stamps tangent in. Maybe we won't go into our local history. Let's stick to the fucking.
To the Necronomicon.
To us purebloods.
You must hate me because I'm the archetypal. The only reason I'm here is because my dad came here for work. That's I'm the archetypal outsider that invaded.
Yeah. You're not local.
No.
You'll never be local.
There's no Shropshire blood in me. My mum's from Chester. My dad's Welsh as fuck.
You'll never be local.
Thank God.
Are you local?
So the Necronomicon is rumoured. The legendary Necronomicon. Mentioned H.P. Lovecraft. Also goes by a few other names, which I shall get into.
And in the Army of Darkness.
And in Army of Darkness. Let's not forget Army of Darkness.
Of course.
And Evil Dead 2.
You know the words, don't you?
Yeah,
yeah, I know
the words.
Go on then.
So, this goes back to the 8th century, which is Abdul al-Hazreed. He was a notorious Yemeni poet. Had a bit of an infatuation with dark magic, but who hasn't?
Hey.
10 years alone in the empty quarter, inhabited by jinn and evil spirits who taught him to do sorcery, as they do.
10 years alone will send anybody peculiar.
In the desert. Yeah. You know, inhabited by demons.
Yeah.
Eventually,
His head.
eventually he moved to Syria, where he wrote one of the most powerful books on the subject ever to existed, and this is originally called the Al-Azif. He had an unexplained death, and this is apparently documented. Obviously Arabic peoples at the time kept meticulous records. They're one of the most advanced civilizations on the planet, if not the most advanced civilization on the planet. He was attacked and eaten by an invisible creature in a crowded marketplace.
So it was crowded. But
And he was attacked and eaten by an invisible creature. Did he know too much? Had he summoned the wrong djinn?
This is where my, it's turned into bollocks now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's fun.
Is this from H.P. Lovecraft? Or is
Where
it
H.P. Lovecraft took his inspirations from. This book was translated into Latin and became the Necronomicon. It was studied by world governments, including the Vatican, and the book's purpose? To control jinns and summon the Ancient Ones, which are giant, transdimensional / aliens that live above and below the earth.
Think
Your
Cthulhu.
Cthulhus,
Yeah.
your old ones, the old elder gods. All of a sudden it's got pretty metal, hasn't it?
It has. I hear fucking riffs in my head as we speak.
The Call of Cthulhu?
Is this...
Actually has a Metallica track.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on their Symphony
I've
of
actually got that
Metallica.
first.
It's an instrumental on the Symphony of Metallica album, Call of Cthulhu.
Is there any documented proof, hard evidence of the Necronomicon's existence?
I guess there isn't. A lot of it's speculation. But it seems a very persistent thing. And amongst the Arab tale, I mean, the what's his name? Oh, hang on, give me a second.
No smoke without fire.
Yeah. The chap who did this originally, Abdul al-Zahad, 8th century notorious Yemeni poet.
Okay.
He's the guy that wrote this to control demons and summon the Ancient Ones.
He's a poet. He was probably fucking smacked up to his eyeballs, wasn't he? This was the comic books of the day. It's like somebody in 3,000 years finding a fucking copy of Batman, isn't it, or something like. Fucking hell, back then.
But this isn't the first version of it, apparently.
Okay.
You know, the Prodigies of Egypt, and that's about Egyptian gods and monsters, which is taken from an older book, which was called Akbar al-Zaman, which is a history of time. It's the earliest collection of occult lore.
I think the elites have got all this.
I genuinely do.
Yeah, probably. If it exists, then yeah.
I think...
They do
I'll go on to
proton
this.
God.
I'm going to go down the rabbit hole on this magic stuff, magic with a K, because I it's fried my head a little bit today. And I was sat there and I was like, so, is this stuff fucking real? Or the rational part of me says, absolutely fucking not. There's no such thing as gods and demons.
What's a YouTube video channel called The Scariest Movie Ever Made?
This is going to scare me.
It's about all that sort of stuff.
The Necronomicon.
The elites and the elite
Then-
Satanists.
But then I have to look at belief and the power of belief. And if you are doing some really heinous shit, you know, sacrificing children, ritual abuse and all that, is that the power of belief just... You're in that position anyway, things are only going to get better. Do you think that maintains it? I mean... I genuinely wouldn't like to say.
I suppose another way of looking at it is also that just because it's old as fuck doesn't mean it's truthful.
No, that's true. That's very true. It's written by men.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And a poet at that.
Anyway, that Akbar al-Zaman, which is the history of time, describes sky creatures and a history of giants and creatures that walked the earth before the Great Flood, and even describes a creature that could be Cthulhu.
Right. Well, it's fucking cool. Scary and cool, and maybe you'd think that if these powers and forces are real, there would maybe somebody somewhere along the line would have written a guidebook, and that the elites would treat this as...
Well, what was
they
Crowley
wouldn't be
doing?
letting copies of it. So you can't... Here's
What
a
was
question.
Crowley doing? That was a guidebook. All this
There you
stuff
go.
is guidebooks.
Here's a
And
question.
he went and searched the Necronomicon, didn't he?
So nobody's
He's got an
found it.
influence in one, actually.
I was going to say, so there's nobody. I can't go online and find out what the Necronomicon says because nobody's actually got hold of it. Or
Apparently, there are copies on the internet.
There are maybe a few floating around, but it's
Whether
not.
they're-
It's not the
How can you
Necronomicon.
verify
That's what I mean.
It
Whether
is-
or not it's
It's
but apparently
called.
it's cursed text. So even if you look for it, you're gonna get cursed.
Wow.
There's a definite Necronomicon written by a guy called Peter Lavender, and it also took Aleister Crowley's Eastern magical system into account.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, this thing spread to the American government. They practice magic with a K. Ritual ceremonial magic has been ever present in
I
most
kind
of the governments in the Western
shit.
world.
You look at like the layout of Washington, you can see like a pentagram and shit. And it's like, you know what I mean, shit like that.
But also,
really-
is that Masonic? I mean, do the Masons tie into this? Do they study that, the occult magic, occult rituals?
We even saw it with Greg's
Symbolism.
restaurants were in a pentagram, weren't they, or something?
Yeah, upside down crosses
That
and
was
things
it.
like that.
That could have been coincidence.
Yeah, I know.
Or Greg's could be satanic.
Every time me and Gaz have a Greg sausage roll, we're fueling Satan.
Yeah. But it's
The
so
heir to the
tasty.
fortune was a pedo, wasn't
He was. But that was done when he was a teacher, not the heir to the Greg's fortune.
It's
The
not
sausage
his
rolls
dad's
are
fault.
innocent, we've established that.
Nothing to do with his dad and the sausage rolls.
Sausage
Don't
rolls are
you
innocent.
fucking taint our savouries.
Don't you taint our taint roll. That's pretty what it is.
Pretty
Taint.
much. Lips and bumholes.
he? It's not AIDS sausages, I don't want.
They taste so good. Not AIDS sausages.
Really tasty AIDS.
It's not as AIDSy as the last one I had.
Tastes better warm.
Fucking Brexit Britain, they're fucking
Cutting back on everything.
back on the AIDS in the sausage roll. Right, let's get back to the Necronomicon.
Now, the real Arabian Necronomicon, which is called the Book of the Sun and Gnosis and Elevated Things, was actually written in the 13th century by a guy called Ahmad ibn Ali Buni. Sorry. It's still banned across the Islamic world.
Well,
You can't get a copy of that book. Apparently, the reason it's banned is because basically you've pissed around with force you don't understand.
That's what they say.
if it exists,
You're pissing around with stuff you don't understand. You're communicating with jinns and angels and supernatural beings, and that's going to either lead you to go completely insane or have massive supernatural things going on in your life that you don't want.
well, it's probably a good thing you can't buy it at W.H. Smith's then, isn't it?
Yeah. But what does terrify me is that I think that there's a slight chance that government people do this shit, and higher ups and the elites,
And they don't get it
and maybe
right.
it's not satanic. It's not. I think we call it satanic because we're a predominantly Christian hemisphere, and that's our bad guy.
Could be.
I think it's something more older and something more ancient. I think it's older than
What creeped
Molech.
me out was that email message sent to Hillary
I think it's
Clinton.
older than Molech.
And she's like, oh, you know, should I sacrifice a chicken to Moloch? Like joking, like, bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah,
Who
but
says that?
Yeah, but how many times have I said "Hail Satan" in a message to you
Yeah,
guys?
Satan, everyone knows. Who the fuck is Moloch?
Yeah, they're into older shit that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who jokes about sacrificing chickens to
Why is
Moloch?
Moloch?
Well, at least you wasn't sacrificing children to Molech. That's some bitch.
It's back to
My
my.
chicken's better than a child, Mike. I'll take that swap every day of the week.
It goes.
Maybe it's code and chicken means child.
Oh, there you
We
go.
know what hot dog means. Well,
Allegedly.
mate, it goes back to the thing of the point I made when we did our Bohemian Grove episode. Even if nothing weird was going on there, it's still weird that in a supposedly Christian country, where all you politicians bang on about Christianity, the Christian God, in public, when you have your private retreat in your little boys' club, it's not Jesus that you're
No.
dancing round, it's fucking Moloch. Like, that in itself, it's weird. Even if it is just a boys' club, it's still fucked that you've got this. Why is the religion you talk about in public not the actual religion that is really important to you? You've got this weird secret. There's also we'll never fucking know 'cause we'll never be in that club. But I believe I'm with you.
It's a big
guys.
club and we ain't in it.
Yeah. And I do think with the Bohemian Grove thing, like, at the time, I remember saying, it's just a piece of theatre. It's just a theatre written, because they were thespians who started that club. and eventually got taken over by the global elites. But if it's theatrical, it's still a ritual.
Yeah. And it's not
And
Christian.
It could have been anything.
Yeah, but things
We
like
said
that.
this in the episode, it could have been anything, and they chose to sacrifice something, possibly a baby, to an owl god.
Yeah.
Now, if we set up a club
And started doing
getting
it.
pissed in the, we'd set up a joke statue to, I don't know,
It would probably be Optimus
Ozzy
Prime
Osbourne or something. You know what I mean?
And we all bit the heads off bats.
Yeah,
But isn't a big point of that as well also that in Christian scripture it's against the rules to
Idolatry.
worship other things?
It's idolatry, yeah. It's one of the Ten Commandments.
So it shows them up for being, they don't really, but this religion that they're always chucking down your throat in public to get voted in because they know it washes well with the voters, they don't believe it for 1 fucking second. Because if they did, they'd go to Beeman Grove and go, ooh, hang on, sorry guys, I'm actually quite religious. I really do believe Christianity, it's my thing. I can't be worshipping a false idol. Sorry, I'll wait in the tent. Nobody's fucking doing that, are they? They're all like, yeah, burn the baby! Something fucking strange.
Yeah.
But it's a ritual, it's a practice, and you could argue it could be even some kind of spell. Does that
that's
kind
if
of,
you believe in magic,
but
innit?
does that kind of thing have power? Does that kind of ritual have power? And I'm going to go down the rabbit hole on this. I know I am, because it's kind of fried my brain a little bit. I genuinely do think the elites do this.
People believe it. Look at Crowley, he believed
You
it.
wouldn't be the first.
Yeah.
I think there's... See, I don't know. I joke about it, but I sort of half believe that I did kind of sex magic Leona into my life. It's either a coincidence...
There you go. Sex magic.
Or... I should probably qualify if it's your first episode. The idea of sex magic is if you think of something at the point of orgasm, whether it's with another person or auto-masturbation style-y, what you think of and envisage at the point of orgasm, you can manifest it as reality. So I just happened to be watching a lot of skinny blonde girl porn and was obviously thinking about skinny blonde girls at the point of ejaculation.
Yeah.
And then bumped into Leona. I half believe, I don't know. Did I then? Because at
I
the
don't
time
know,
it was
it's
all
the thing.
happening, I never knew what sex magic was till we did the fucking show on it. And then, I don't
This is the thing, I mean,
don't know.
let's face
Coincidence,
it,
probably.
if at any point in your life you're closer to a universal feeling, it's at the point of orgasm.
That's what Mr. Crowley says, isn't it? That's the creative, fertile...
Yeah. That's life, that is the very spirit, the very essence of life. And whether you're doing it with someone or solo, it's still that feeling.
It's just hard at the point of orgasm to envisage a large detached house in the
In the
countryside.
Cotswolds.
Yeah.
Yes, a little boner killer, that.
With 2 Labradors, 1 chocolate, 1 golden. You know, it is hard to get that in your head at the point of like, all I tend
That's
to think
why-
is like,
That's why it takes numerous years of being a power bottom, like Mr. Crowley was.
God, I don't want to be rich that badly, to be honest with you. I'm happy where we are. It's alright.
And go and spend the night in pyramids with your new wife and conducting rituals and then having sex magic on an altar in a pyramid, which,
Lots of
let's
dead
face it,
goats.
is pretty fucking metal.
It's metal, but is it right?
I don't know if I'd be able to perform surrounded by the spirits of dead Egyptian pharaohs
Mate,
who are
it
probably
puts
looking
me
at
off
me
if-
silently and judging me.
It puts me off if the cat comes into the room.
I
I feel
feel
uncomfortable fucking in front of the cat.
Mate,
So
I'm-
dead goat.
I've never been naked in front of the dog.
Exactly.
You know?
It's weird. He always tries to get on my lap when I'm having a shit as well. And I'm like, this is inappropriate, dude.
It's my time.
This is weird. So
How can we do with that?
fucking in front of a sheep.
Don't you shut the
what am I
door?
saying? I fucking
Don't
front
you
of a
shut the
sheep all
door?
time. Oh no, I'm very free and open with the door. Yeah.
Right, shut the door if I'm having a shit.
If I'm home alone. So,
Oh, Home Alone, no. Yeah, obviously Home Alone, no. But
to be honest, if there's people in the house, I shit with the door open. Now I think about it.
wow.
I probably shouldn't, but I do.
No, you shouldn't. No one wants to see that. You're
No
gonna
one's
stroll past the landing. You're sat there with your book, your
one's
cup of
looking.
tea,
Mid-pooing.
They know not to come in then. If they come up the landing, like, doors open and it stinks, we'll go back down for a bit.
So let's move on to the last bit of weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
I'll start. This is from the Mirror, a UK tabloid. Ghostbusters Dan Aykroyd says aliens are here and they want sex with human women.
Better stay away from my missus, you
Yeah, I was
bastard.
thinking the same thing. Fuckers.
I've got more competition now.
Aliens.
Fuck it up.
Well, the Nordics trying to chat up the same thing as you are, Mike.
Well, he would know he did get sucked off by a ghost.
That's it. The actor says he's seen 4 UFOs and the most extraterrestrial visitors are just tourists coming to look at this beautiful planet.
I can believe that, you know. Alien tourism.
Yeah,
Makes sense. We'd do the same, wouldn't we?
yeah.
Of course we would.
However, the story is concerned that some aliens want to harm people and use them as lab rats, and Dan is convinced that 60% of us already know it's true. He told the Daily Star, oh, it's from the Daily Star originally, the Mirror and nicking it from the Daily Star, the proof is going to start dribbling out. The aliens are interested in your ova, your femininity, your reproductive parts, your DNA.
Okay.
I won't get far if it's just dribbling out.
They would love to draw blood and fluid and would love to impregnate a woman and produce a hybrid baby. This is what they're up to here. He added, I believe some aliens are here to harm us. There are many that come here with nefarious purposes and want to use us as lab rats. The Blues Brothers actor, 66, isn't the only star who's spoken about their alien encounters. Former model and ex-wife of Rolling Stone star Ronnie Wood, Jo Wood, has been open about her belief in the extraterrestrials too. She recently appeared on This Morning, which is a popular morning TV programme in the UK. She saw one when she was 12.
Wow.
So there you go.
And she was married
for
to a
her.
Rolling Stone. Must be true.
So there you go. Absolutely true. Boom. But Dan, well, I think he might be onto something.
Well,
Alien-human hybrids, the aliens infiltrating our society, creating better hybrids, but still operating under the same agenda.
he's definitely a believer. We know that much. Fair play, Dan. You've got no proof, but fair play, Dan. That's what you believe.
I believe Dan Aykroyd.
I'd believe him over some fucking Cletus.
I believe him over fucking Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
alright, who's next?
Next up is Teenage Exorcists.
So this is a little video I found. It's about 40 seconds long. This is from I'm pretty sure they're triplets and they've got a reality TV show in America where their dad is an exorcist and they're like the next generation of exorcists. So they get a call to go somewhere and exorcise somebody and they'll go for a little briefing with their dad and say, oh yeah, that sounds like whoever demon,
Yeah.
Abaddon, I don't know, maybe. And yeah, I've dealt with him before, you know, this is what you need to do and all this. And this is a little clip of them doing their shit.
Okay, brilliant. The tagline to the clip is, we have to raise up a new generation of demon slayers. Someone's gonna do it.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have to raise up a new generation of demon slayers. Someone's got to do it.
Arizona's
Us five
teenage
girls
exorcists.
are such a dynamite team because we all have different strengths. Melanie is the sweetheart. She usually does the anointing and the praying. Chrissy is very dominant. Tess is the bulldog. She's always right there to help. She knows her stuff. And Savannah, she really connects with people emotionally. I want you to receive the judgment of God. Receive the judgment of God right now. Feel it.
Demonic screaming. There you go. So basically, they're just pressing Bibles against people's heads. There you go. Have that. What do you reckon? Bollocks?
These people are unhinged. All of them. The guy that's going there thinking, oh, I can explain all my shitty behaviour. Like, I cheated on my wife and, like, you know, I slapped her about a bit and, you know, I'm a bit of an alcoholic. It's
Murdered my
demons!
dog.
It's
Demons.
fucking demons!
What did you want to do? Rape the dog?
Murdered his
Murder the
dog.
dog?
You know what I mean? No, mate, you're just a shitty person who makes shitty decisions and no amount of Bibles being pressed against your head while fucking rednecks fucking...
Or
say-
5 young women chant at you.
5 young redneck women chant fucking Bible crap at you. No amount of that is going to change the fact that you're a bit of a cunt.
I like
Take
how,
some personal fucking responsibility.
I like how only Christians get possessed. You don't have atheists getting possessed, do you?
No, they're just wankers. They just admit
Hey!
I did some shit things, sorry. Oh, press a Bible on my head and shout at the top of your fucking lungs about God. Well, that's going to suddenly change the physiological makeup of my brain. Have a mass impact. It's gonna basically, you're gonna give me the spiritual equivalent of cognitive behavioural therapy. You're gonna make actual changes to my mind by just screaming really loud.
You got screamed at by Christians when they were cold, do you remember? You told that tale
yeah.
at the water.
Yes,
They blessed you and your cold didn't go away.
I was blessed, yes, over my cold. That was an awkward experience because I just felt uncomfortable because I was like, you're making a fool of yourself, love. Like, but she really believed it. She really believed that saying a little prayer for me right there and then
Say a little prayer for you
was going to cure my cold. Remember, I'm sure we said on the pod, the fact that I woke up the next day still with a cold proves the lack of a deity
Yeah.
in this universe, or he just doesn't give a fuck about me.
Or you're cold.
Yeah, well, fuck him, let him sniffle.
He's a cunt anyway. Heretic!
All them dead prostitutes.
Well, you have killed a lot of people, Gaz.
Let him sniffle. Oh,
You have
dear.
killed a lot of people.
They keep stepping out in front of me.
No, I mean in the back of your murder van that you claim is full of DIY supplies.
Hey, everyone needs a hobby. Next story. Is this me or?
Yeah, you can do this.
Oh wow. Ted Cruz warns that Space Force is needed to battle space pirates.
I'm with him. I'm with the Zodiac Killer on this. I mean, Ted Cruz.
Wow. So, Senator Ted Cruz issued a dire warning about space pirates Wednesday in support of appropriations to fund Space Force. President Trump's proposed off-planet expansion of the US military.
The best thing that I ever seen after the election, during the election, Donald Trump, was Ted Cruz phone banking for Donald Trump. Did you see
Phone
it?
banking?
Yeah, calling up people, saying please vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Even after what he did to him, and he called his wife an ugly, didn't he?
Well,
Yeah, but Ted
no
Cruz has
honourable
no gonads.
Steve.
I know.
He has no gonads.
And he's like, you know, Donald Trump, totally against him. But as soon as he got the nomination, his phone
Of
banking
course, he
for
wants to
him.
be in with the boys, doesn't he? He wants to get his invitation to Bohemian Grove back.
Of course. Fucking arsehole. Well, he has to say about this. Since the ancient Greeks first put to sea, nations have recognised the necessity of naval forces and maintaining a superior capability to protect waterborne travel and commerce from bad actors, said Cruz, the
I didn't think Johnny Depp was that bad in Parts of the Caribbean.
said Cruz, the chairman of the subcommittee on aviation and space, adding, pirates threaten the open seas and the same is possible in space. In the same way, I believe we too must now recognise the necessity of a space force to defend the nation and to protect space commerce and civil space exploration. What I think he means there is like, if those Russians think they're going to be putting up any goddamn satellites that may help them with, you know, satellite navigation or decent Wi-Fi or phone communications, we're just going to shoot it down.
Military spy satellites.
Just going to shoot it down. That's what they mean. But surely, let's establish the existence of fucking space pirates before... It's like me saying...
Is Yondu going to show up? Is Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy going to show up? The Ravagers, Star-Lord, Rondu, they're going to show up and go, alright, Yondu's in. Just go, right, we're taking this ship.
Mary fucking Poppins, yo.
Yeah, oh, that was tragic.
I mean, don't pirates have to have something to steal? What are they going to steal?
Yeah, if we're not up there, what are they going to take?
There's like ISS up there, I've seen it, isn't there?
Well,
Yeah.
It's,
I think the Chinese have got one, maybe.
you know, they're not being boarded by Somalian pirates.
But what if Somalian pirates get to space, Mike?
I
Be
think...
floating around with their AKs,
Can you imagine
hosing
that?
down the ISS.
Look out the window and there's some...
Somalian bloke in a spacesuit just towards an AK.
He'd be about 12 years old as well.
Yeah. So it's in the funny grown men, I know.
But I think...
He's got a fucking massive joint in his fucking smoking a massive joint in his spacesuit.
I think we're going to get to the nub of the issue in the next paragraph, though. For starters, says the article, the Trump administration is seeking $2 billion in new funding from Congress for for the creation of Space Force. The new military branch is projected to number about 15,000, most of whom will be transferred from existing positions. In future years, its annual budget could amount to an additional $500 million over the $10 billion already being spent on unclassified space programs, Defense News reported. So, we need more money for the Space Force.
There's already $10 billion on unclassified stuff, though.
We've already given you $500 million. Why do you need more? Space pirates, you know.
It's insane. The world is going to be dead, a dead planet in 30 years. No life on it.
So we need to go to space. And who's going to be up there, Mike? Who's going to be waiting?
Well, why don't we
who's
try
going
and
to be
save the
waiting?
planet?
Who's going to be
Why don't we
waiting
just say, fuck
to
it, we're going to
ambush
space?
to ambush our colonial fleets going out there without a space force to protect them? Space pirates. Space pirates. The Ravagers.
Because that's the real threat,
Yeah.
isn't it?
We're on
Space pirates.
We're launching our mother ships that, you know, are taking the human race off planet because we fucked this one. Because the money wasn't spent on the planet, it was spent on Space Force.
Where are you going to go?
Wherever, man.
Is this a low key?
That's not good enough.
Earth 2.
Where's that?
Somewhere.
Isn't this
Dead before you get there.
We'll have breeding programs. We know inbreeding will be fine. Or we all self-sustain. Yeah, money's thrown at it. It'll be all right.
Isn't this a low key way of telling us that aliens are real?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be. Disclosure.
So why you build? Who are you defending against? Other humans in space. All right.
Some Chinese guys up there space pirating.
Well, what have they got? This is the thing.
There's space Somalians
What
as
have they
well.
got to defend? Is it, or are they trying to freak us out? Like, well, the Chinese could send like a laser satellite weapon, just float it over US and just wipe us out. But if we had some space commandos up there, they'd fucking take it out, wouldn't they? Like the Space A-Team.
But what?
Or is it aliens?
What if this is that Solar Warden needs some more cash?
Do you know what I think?
What if their ships are getting a bit dated now? What if they need...
Could be.
What if he basically Trump's like, yeah, Space Force, but it's secretly it's like, yeah, we've really got that, but Solar Warden needs more money. Randy Kramer needs more money, damn it.
This is my theory. I'm turning this. I've been working on it a little bit. I'm trying to write a sort of sketch, short play type thing for our 100th episode celebrations, and nobody steal this. I've already started writing it so I can prove I had the idea first.
Trademark Gaz.
But essentially, my idea is Trump gets into power. He's like, so I've heard about this Solar Warden. When do I get the keys to the spaceport? And they're like, no, fuck you. Okay, you can do the Navy, you can do the Army. You're not fucking touching Solar Warden. We simply can't risk it. You're a buffoon. Well, I'll fucking show you lot then. Oh, I'll start my own interplanetary defence. Oh, fuck, what's it called, Donald? Space Force. And this is what he's trying to kick off his own because they won't let him have anything to do with Solar Warden because he's too much of a prick. And so he's got a rinky dink, he's got to put together this shitty Mickey Mouse fucking Space Force, like recruiting morons and losers and fucking
He's going to
wackos.
recruit 15,000 people out of the US Armed Forces.
Jesus, wouldn't they be more useful invading one of your other countries and toppling dictators?
So 15,000 out of the existing US Armed Forces. So you're going to assume they're going to be top people, wouldn't you? You're going to fly a starship. You're going to manoeuvre an aircraft carrier.
Well, even starships need grunts, though, don't they?
They do. You've got to have those people refilling the vending machines and unblocking the chicken soup dispensers, things like that.
Fighting the insectoids.
But you've also got to have. So let's say that out of that 15,000, let's say that 10,000 of them are the guys who are just running shit, just doing the menial jobs. The 5,000. They're your elites, they're the ones flying the starships, they're the ones doing your Randy Kramer-esque garrotting insectoids from behind.
Or it's all a massive fucking scam, and that money's being spent on fucking black budget military operations, and fucking they're all lying in their pockets, and there's never going to be a Space Force, there isn't a space... They'll tell us there's a Space Force.
Because that's it, just hologram some ships taking off into space.
You send up a couple of dudes to the ISS in, like, army-looking spacesuits. You film them floating around.
Camouflage spacesuits.
Yeah. They're just black with stars painted on them. Black with LED twinkles.
I like to think that Trump doesn't
Is
realise.
that thick?
No,
Camo.
I like to think that Trump just sends them in the traditional woodland black and green camo spacesuits
With their face paint on.
the face and the camo paint on too
balaclava.
underneath their fishbowl.
Yeah.
You realise that doesn't blend in at all.
And how are they going to be? They're not much of a space force. If I'm going to go out on a limb here. For a very long time, those 15,000 people are all going to be very much based on Earth.
Well, that's a valid point. It takes years to go an
You know
astronaut.
what I mean? Like,
And psychological testing.
Oh, I'm a member of Space Force. Been to space? Nope. Going to space? Probably not. How the fuck? What?
Yeah, I'm out in 3 years.
Says Space Force on the fucking logo, bitch.
Hey, I bet if you turn up to a bar, wherever, and you've got your sort of black, sort of Space Force uniform on, it's just Space Force in silver lettering across.
You can get laid from being a Space
Fuck
Force
yeah.
commander.
Of course you can.
you could.
Of course you could.
Fought any aliens? Nope. But if they were real, I would.
Been training for years, baby.
Yeah. What does training involve? Watch a lot of Star Trek.
Star Wars. That kind of thing.
Play a lot of video games.
Halo's great. Play a lot of Halo. They play the version where you actually, when you played Halo, sometimes you try and keep those Marines with you alive, and sometimes you just shot them in the face and took their ammo.
Wow.
I never did that personally.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, I did.
Of course you did. It's you.
If I was low on ammunition, I could shoot them and take their ammunition.
I'll do a better job on my own with all them guns.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't need you people. I'm a Master Chief.
Well, I think that concludes a fucking Space Force story. I think they're just sharking
Maybe
for
Trump's
money.
just siding the money directly.
They're
That's
sharking.
There's another option.
Sharking for money. He's plugging the holes in his fucking businesses with Space Force funds.
Space Force. Still, love the idea.
Space Force.
We need to write a song called Space Force.
Nobody has more experience in space than me. Nobody, okay?
I've been to space many a time.
Nobody's been to space more times than me, okay? Nobody. I'm huge in space. Huge. Yeah, but your hands aren't though, are they, Donnie?
Give him the smallest gloves you've got. He
would demand the biggest size.
They
and
do
it'd
like them foam hands. They used to have football matches and gladiators. Do you remember they had the big
And the
foam,
wrestling, yeah.
and the wrestling, the big foam hands. You'd have that.
See? I told you people.
Can you pick that screwdriver up for me? There's nothing.
He's lost all dexterity.
He's a reverse T-Rex.
Oh, Donnie.
Full Alex.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so it's time to play Full Alex. Woo! Basically, the premise of this little quiz show that we've worked out is that Mike finds us a couple of random weirdos from the internet. He pits them against the arch saint of insanity himself, Alex Jones, and we decide who's gone more full Alex this week. Because remember, it's alright to go a little bit Alex, a quarter Alex, a half, 3/4 Alex, but never go full Alex.
Never.
Never. Unless you're on a train.
Moving on.
And drunk.
Moving on. Let's play the game.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
Right, who's first, Mike?
First up, Matt Walsh believes 12-year-old rape victims should be forced to give birth.
Oh.
Who's Matt Walsh?
Fuck.
He's a newcomer.
He's a newcomer.
Well, I think we may have a winner.
I think so. Okay, let's see what this twat's got to say.
I pointed out that rapists use abortion to cover their tracks, and that abortion restrictions can actually protect rape victims, whereas abortion clinics often exploit rape victims and can cause rape to continue. Now, I made that point in an exchange that began with someone responding to Michael Knowles after Knowles pointed out that cases of rape and incest account for less than 1% of all abortions. And someone responded to that and said, Michael Knowles is playing down the horrible fact of the Alabama abortion ban, that if a 12-year-old girl gets raped by her dad, she has to carry the baby, and that the rapist will spend less time in prison than a doctor who aborts the baby. This is immoral. Now, I responded to that and said, if a 12-year-old is raped by her father and the father takes her to get an abortion, the evidence of the crime will be destroyed, and he will go on molesting his victim for years. If, however, the child is born, his crime will be discovered and she'll be rescued from the abuse. And then I continue. And this exact kind of scenario happens all the time with the help of the fine folks at Planned Parenthood, who are more than happy to assist an abuser in covering up the abuse. And then I provided a link with examples of precisely this sort of thing. Now, do I apologize for making this point? No, I do not. Not even a little bit. I'm not ever going to apologize for saying something that's true. It's never, ever going to happen. Ever. Period.
Period. Did he mean that?
Well,
I don't even know you come to that conclusion.
Abortion period.
No, when they say period,
it means full stop.
Yeah. So, no, he wasn't making a shit period.
I thought it was though. I really thought
period,
it was.
full stop. I'm not apologising, full stop. Surely the evidence of the abuse lies in the testimony, possibly, of the victim. I wouldn't say that she needs to grow the incestual child inside her in order to prove the
That's what I mean. Abuse. Why does she have to actually give birth to a baby?
Jesus
for the
Christ. Fuck me. Fuck me, there's other evidence, you fucking mindless prick. She can go and have a fucking... They can get DNA fucking evidence from her body without her ever being fucking pregnant.
Ugh! He thinks the baby has to be born before guilt is... So everyone's waiting around the hospital bed, gives birth, and they arrest the dad.
I
don't get it.
You know, for
that baby sure looks like your daddy. Well, I didn't want to tell anybody, but it kind of does belong to my daddy. Right, say goodbye to the baby, and goodbye to your father.
For the first time in a long time, I'm actually speechless at the level of stupidity I've just heard. I mean, it's just, that's the most twisted version
fucking straws,
of logic I think I've ever heard in my life. I mean,
is he genuinely thick or is he just misleading people?
Is he making money out of this? I don't even know who this guy is.
Look at him, he's just in his study.
But, I know, but he's got 1,338 views. He's got subscribers. How many subscribers has he got?
No, well, that's from the site that takes the piss out of these.
Okay, well,
I'd like to know if he's got daughters.
I'd like to know that if, I don't know, his brother had sex with his daughter, so, you know, it's a bit incestual going on, a bit too closely family related. Well, let's say that his son had sex with his daughter and got him knocked up, and he goes, oh, you know what? Well, I'll wait till the baby's born. He'd be straight down the abortion clinic.
Daddy, could you please tell the police that my brother raped me? No, baby, I'm afraid we have to wait for the baby to be born, and only then can I prove to the police what happened here. It's gonna be a long 9 months for you, I realize. But we will get that bastard brother of yours. But I'm willing to testify. No, they won't.
No.
They won't have it.
No.
No. Are you sitting comfortably? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck him. Next.
Yeah.
Next up.
Oh.
Rick Wiles.
Jesus.
I noticed a theme going on this week, Mike.
Yeah, well, it was the Alabama thing, was it, this week? So quite a bit.
Yeah.
Rick Wiles says reproductive rights supporters will be aborted continuously by demons in hell.
So does that mean they're being fucked by demons in hell and then made pregnant immediately and then being
aborted?
Okay.
Please show me in the Constitution, where is the clause in the Constitution that says a woman has the right to murder an innocent baby? A bunch of reprobates on the Supreme Court declared that a constitutional right to murder babies exists in our Constitution. There is no such right.
Not a single place.
There is no such federal law. The Congress has never passed an abortion law. It's never happened.
Right.
Judges on the Supreme Court who defied the living God decided that they would legalize the slaughter of babies in this country. Those judges, some of them, I guess all of them by now, are dead. carcasses will burn in hell forever. I personally believe that abortionists and those who fight for abortion, I believe that after you die and after the judgment of Almighty God on Judgment Day, I believe that abortionists and the supporters of abortion, I believe that their punishment in the lake of fire will be to be aborted continuously by demons. Continuous, perpetual, eternal abortion. Think about that, Doc.
I'm just sitting here.
Think about a demon with scalpels, scissors, cutting your spinal cord.
Again and again.
And again.
Crushing your skull.
Crushing your skull, ripping your heart out, using a vacuum cleaner to suck your organs out. And then it all goes back together, and they do it again.
Maybe the demon even whispers, "You're not really a person. You're not really a person.
You're not a person."
Who's told him
You have
this?
no rights. And this goes on for billions of years, hundreds of billions of years, zillions of years, and it never stops. It never stops. You will be aborted continuously forever.
That is purely guesswork. You've got. It doesn't say that in the Bible, does it?
No.
As far as I
Jesus
know.
never mentions abortion.
It's just purely fucking
Apparently,
guesswork.
he even advises it. He says if you've been raped or whatever, drink bitter water.
The thing is,
there's
there's always been abortion clause and drinking some kind of herbal remedy that just does it. You know, it's been known for fucking since we began shagging, probably. I mean, look, I ain't pro, I ain't anti. I just think a woman's body's her fucking own to do what she wants with. I don't care.
Look, nobody
doesn't bother me.
Nobody is standing up for abortions. No one's saying we want more abortions.
Yeah.
You know,
Just, you've got a right to have
unfortunately,
one if you want
in the world, horrible things happen to people, and
yeah. And if they choose to do that, then that's up to them.
Yeah. And so do mistakes. And some people,
Mistakes.
some people get on the snotty bandwagon of like,
It's their choice, isn't it?
Well, if you understand birth control, then mistakes shouldn't happen. And if you're a decent human being, it's like, fuck, look, mistakes do fucking happen.
Yeah. And condoms are not 100%; they're 99%.
Contraception lets you down. Sometimes you let
it does.
yourself down. Who knows? But
condoms break.
Of course.
If you don't, this all comes down to religion. If you're not religious, you haven't got a dog in the race, have you? Really? Do you know what I mean? You're like, well, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
To be honest, but it's only this religious, like, it's a religious argument, isn't it?
Of course it is. And in my opinion, they have no place to be preaching this into the halls of government.
At the end of the day,
They've got a right to say what they want to say.
Yeah, but
they got a right to believe
church
this
and
shit if they
state
want
should
to
be,
believe it.
yeah, but church and state should be separated.
I believe in that. Yeah.
Like what he wants to say, that's fine. He can say it. It's batshit insane, but he can say it.
Some people
but
argue
this should
it's
not.
a moral issue, not a religious one.
He's
Nobody
making
wants
it.
to kill
He's
anybody.
making it a religious issue.
Yeah.
He's making
He is,
it a religious issue. So, you know, church and state should be separated. This should not be worming its fucking foul, corrupt tentacles into the halls of power. You want to say that, Rick? You fucking go for it. You really want to fucking control people to that point? I think you're a dick. People have a right to do what they want to do, as long as it's not breaking the law, which now has been changed because of you and your fucking mates. You want to impose your values on the rest of us.
It is dangerous, I believe it is, but because people will still seek abortions, but they'll do it illegally, backstreet abortions.
Which will kill more people.
Yeah.
fuck that guy. Really.
Both these people have just really annoyed me so far. So if Alex has got something fucking more has he got about abortion too?
If you're relying on him, then.
Has he got abortion too?
No, I don't think.
Oh, that's a relief. Right.
It's titled "The Most Powerful Rant of 2019." Alex Jones Unleashed.
Oh, Unleashed! Holy shit!
What's he been for the rest of this?
Exactly. Strap your fucking selves in.
I'm not going to make a big thing out of this.
Yes, you
I
are.
just should make a huge thing out of it. Explain to everybody. You notice I just did 55 minutes of air. Most talk show hosts be plugging every segment, what they're selling or what they're doing to fund themselves, okay? Because there's so much advertising, so many shows, so much marketing. Most media is going bankrupt. Paul Watson, watch summit.news. And you notice he's asking for people to donate $5 a month so he can hire some people to run his own operation. You know why? That's because I told you that there's a chance they're going to be able to shut us down. And so people like Paul Watson, who's been here 18, 19 years, I said, listen, you got to go out and get into business now yourself, my friend. And so I cut his pay almost down to nothing a few months ago to make Baby Bird get out of the nest because Daddy's got goblins all over him running knives through me. So when I'm like cruising along like a spaceship, I got escape pods going boop, 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 boop. And people at the escape pod going, I don't really want to go. And I'm shoving them into the escape pod and going, get in the escape pod. And then I get to see the little comments down below. Oh, Jones can't pay his people anymore. Look, he's asking for their emails, Paul, so he can talk to them. Paul's asking for them to donate so he and his brother and some people can run Summit.news. Oh, look at you begging for some money. While we're the trailblazers, tip of the spear, being totally attacked, sued, lied about, shut down, PayPal taken away, listed as an international terrorist, total attack at every level. And the system thinks you're so asleep you don't even know what's going on. Well, our audience does know what's going on. You can feel the damn energy in this country. So I'll tell you, who knows how long you even go to InfoWarsStore.com? Who knows how long you can even go there and buy X2 or buy the great coffee or buy the new products we've got. And listen, if you don't want to belly up to the bar and flood us with money so I can do a good stand-up fight against these bastards, then that's your choice in life. I really don't give a goddamn anymore. Excuse me, Lord. I'm just being so real right now. Because I'm fighting all the way. I'm energized. I'm awake. I'm not dead. People ask me how the hell I can have so much energy when I come in here, and I'm not like this in person. They're creating a world government mark of the beast. 2.2 billion people just got told they can't use certain words. They're announcing giant cult-like brainwashing. They're teaching 5-year-olds how to suck cock. Oh! School. They're sitting there doing everything you could ever freaking imagine. Killing babies after they're born. And the churches are such Pharisees, they're worried that I just talked about sucking cock instead of killing babies and chucking their damn organs out. It's like they say in Full Metal Jacket, they also say it even better, Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now, he says, we drop napalm on villages and fry and burn little kids, but the generals don't let them write cuss words on the side of the airplanes. Woo! What, you Pharisees, just like Christ said. And he said, you know, they go up there and they pray up on the mountain all day how good they are, talk about how good they are, but they are a bunch of sleazebags who only care about power and money. I care about soul and truth. And that's where this country and this world is right now. And the open world government, mark of the beast, with the Chi-Coms is now here. And people are like, well, they're a private company. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This leads us to an interesting question about the rules of the show. About who is the most batshit insane.
Yep, so let's go back to the beginning.
So let's have a little bit of a recap. Matt Walsh believes 12-year-old rape victims should be forced to give birth.
In order for the evidence.
In order for the evidence to be available to the police. He has no knowledge of DNA testing. He has no knowledge of forensic pathology or forensics. He has no knowledge of anything apart from his own little skewed view.
Just testimony in a jury.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Witnesses. That kind of thing. Good old-fashioned justice, eh? And then we've got Rick Wiles, long-time participant, who says that reproductive rights supporters are going to be aborted continuously by demons in hell. Now, that involves you being sliced up repeatedly and aborted from presumably the womb of some demon mother. I have no idea.
I like how he wasn't quite sure how long eternity was.
Yeah.
Could be 1 billion years, trillion years.
But he was telling us the other week that Christ was going to come back in his lifetime, so who knows? Yeah, he was also quite mad, let's face it. And Alex with a rant that encompassed kind of everything.
I think he's, for me, what the first two said was heinous.
But what we've got to look at, is it the performance or is it what they're saying?
It's a mixture of both, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, he gives a performance, but I don't think he's as...
He also says the government is teaching 5-year-olds how to suck cock.
Yeah, you know what? He's probably won that on that, hasn't he? In all fairness.
I think, in my opinion, what the first guy said was heinous and just silly.
Yeah, let's just reiterate, we
Poorly
really do not
educated.
share their opinions at all. We're playing it for comedic effect.
Poorly educated moron trying to desperately defend his undefendable position.
Yeah.
Clutching at straws. Second guy, religious fucking lunatic. I doubt he believes what he's really saying. Alex, although it may all be a performance, and I love how he turned it into an advert mid-rant.
Yeah, he did.
Without skipping a fucking beat. Right? But he's also, you know, his description of how his business is starting to fail because of everything that's happened to him, how he described it as a spaceship with escape pods and I don't want to get in and I'm fucking kicking a minute. Yeah, you've lost a lot of money in the last couple of years, Alex, we get that. I've got to give it Alex, I think. And also, I don't want one of them two fucking cunts winning our game show. Fuck them. Alex, for me.
Yeah. Oh man, it's difficult. It is difficult. Alex has got the performance, he's got the insanity, but the other two, like you say, the one's just some fucking bigot who doesn't understand how stuff works. Rick Wiles is just a fucking religious lunatic who doesn't. Who's I am willing to put money on has probably knocked up on his parishioners and told them to get an abortion.
Yeah.
I'm probably willing to put money on that.
Yeah.
Would you guys?
His daughter's probably had to have an abortion. That's why he's still at large.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. I will go with Alex for the performance and the fact he managed just and he got the ad in there.
That was fucking
seamlessly got the ad in there. I'll go Alex, but the other two, I mean, my God, I'm actually shocked. I was speechless after the first guy. I'm never speechless.
Fuck 'em.
Well, this is what this game show does to you.
There we go.
The dregs.
Mike, how have you kept your sanity researching this?
I think before I forget, before we wrap up, I think we should do our plugs. Facebook.
Absolutely. Cutting to the ball in the post-truth apocalypse. We are meme dealers.
Yes.
As well.
We will deal you some conspiracy-themed memes. We have a band called Solar Warden. You can find them on YouTube, Solar Warden Music. Subscribe there. And a personal plug there. Subscribe there. And a personal plug for me. I've got a channel called Sewage Pipe Gaming where I'm finding the shittest homemade games on the Play Store and putting them through some shitty testing, really.
You best leave Boom Beach alone.
I haven't played that one. So subscribe to that. Subscribe to Solar Warden Music. Please like our Facebook page. Leave a positive review.
You can listen to us anywhere. YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes.
All of them. Wherever you get podcasts. And share.
YouTube, of course. Yeah.
Spotify. Share us. Do some stuff. Thank you. We love you.
Yes. Genuinely. So I've been Ben, and I'm going to say don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I've been Gaz, and I will say free Biff Tannen. Goodbye.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And of course, thanks again for listening. It's appreciated. Boost our egos.
Yeah.
Space Force. Intergalactic Fascists. The new comic book starring Captain Bert Spanner, a man so manly that he sleeps with his flaccid penis wrapped around the trigger of a gun, so that when he wakes up, he may kill a man with his morning wood. Space, the 1950s. Sex, violence, fascists, what's not to love? Find it now at Amazon.com. Space Force, Intergalactic Fascists.